I'm excited for tonight, guys. Been a lot of fun prepping this.
I don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I have some ideas of what to expect, but it'll be fun to. Hello, and welcome back to The Contraband, where 6 Shakespeare actors play Blades in the Dark. This show is produced by Ghostlight RPGs, a collective of theater artists keeping the lamp lit even when theaters are dark. If you like what you see, please feel free to follow and subscribe. I am Ted Bushman, Game Master. Joining me on this tale of corpses and cormorants, calumny and calluses, caterwauls and catatonia are Jamie Hansen, Ben Isaacs, Kristen Perkins, Graham Ward, and Carson Wright. Introduce yourselves. Jamie.
Hello, I am Jamie. Jamie Hansen, he, him. I am playing Varric Lommons, our resident slide. Don't know, that word completely jumped out of my head for a second. I was like,
Lit right out.
Oh, there it is.
yeah, exactly. He's greased up in there. Yeah.
Amazing. Benjamin.
Hi, Ben Isaacs. He, they. I play Hix Templeton, the psychedelic spider.
Awesome. Kristen.
Kristen Perkins, she, her. I play the girl of many names and many faces, who is also the resident lurk, creeping in and out of places.
Graham.
Hi, I'm Graham Ward, he, him, and I'm here to play Bram, as I always do. Bram's the cutter. He's a depressing man.
Having a great time with him. And Carson.
Yes, I'm Carson, he, him. I play Aldo Basran, the resident leech. Patching things up and unpatching things up when necessary.
Yes. Yeah, welcome. I think that is like maybe the first time ever that we've actually used all of the in-game character titles, like as opposed to our just like made-up ones. So yeah, here we are conforming to the system of Blades. As for our brief recap, we're just going to jump in and play the game tonight. Thank you for being here, and we'll see more people as we keep going. But currently, the crew is in hot water. They're being pursued by Andre Morland, a corrupt bluecoat lieutenant, and Rufus Engim, the chairman of the board at the Ministry of Preservation. But even in times of criminal distress, there's always time for a party and for the anonymous contact who invited you there. So, content warning, The Contraband is a crime drama set in a dark and unpleasant city. Episodes will almost certainly contain strong language and violence, and may occasionally include sex, oppressive working conditions, swarthy cynics, supernatural visions, and encounters with the gruesome undead. So, put on your decorated mask and descend with us into The Contraband. So, Hix, you have a project. Surprise, surprise. So, when Hix comes up with a plan, how are they physicalized? Does he, what sense do they enter the world? Does he write things down in a notebook that he stores under a black stone in the alleyway garden in the back of his grimy flat? Does he code them into sketches? Does he discuss them with people but never write anything down? Does he burn any of his notes? Does he dream them in vivid, colorful detail? How does that work for him? What's his creative process?
Hix's process is sort of like, it will take sitting in their third story flat, studio flat with the windows open, just sort of feeling the air, smelling the city, listening, and just trying to just sense it all, let it all come in. And it's almost like Hix's intellect is a giant gloopy mass upon which everything that they sense becomes sort of smeared. And so Hix has this habit of writing pages and just writing it out stream of conscious, just to hold space for and to try to congeal some of this sensory data into forms. And then Hix usually burns the notebook after.
I love it. Yeah, I love that sense of this sort of connecting with all of the intelligences of the world, the rivers and the buildings and the neighborhoods. Like everything is its own entity. Everything, like the smells of it and the sounds of it, all of these contribute to this this strange impressionist calculus. I love that. Over the next these few days in downtime, you at least one day return to Crow's Foot. It's been some time since you've been there. This is one of the central districts of Duskfall. If Charter Hall is Duskfall's calculating mind, a grim and ordered system of gray assemblies and gray academics and gray streets, then Crowsfoot is something like its tangled intestine, ranging from wild open squares with ragged markets to decaying ruins and tunnel neighborhoods. Many areas of this district are charred black from fires that raged here 50 years ago, and on street corners, on broken fountains, and in the wooden steeples of churches turned farmers markets, you see people in black. A single black feather adorns each one of them. For many, this is worn at the belt or on the pommel of a sword. For some, it's worn like an earring. The more advanced have leather gear embossed with the symbol of a feather. These are the current incarnation of one of Duskfall's oldest gangs, until recently called the Crows. They now call themselves the Ravens. They're all over. There hasn't been a presence of Crows this solid since before Rorick, their most famous leader, was murdered. The district is looking as under control as it's ever been. You don't see their current leader on the streets, but you know her, a lithe, muscular woman with short hair and tired eyes, quick to anger, ambitious, Lissa. In the past, you worked with her, bringing stolen blue-coat weapons and supplying them for a war that they had and won with the Lamplacks. Now, your plan has changed a little bit. She went quite cold with you, and now your plan is to frame her of everything that your gang is being accused of. I'm going to give you some options of how you might go through with this, things that I thought up, but I'm like completely open to ideas from other players or from you, Ben, as to like how you think would be the best way to go about framing her. So there's sort of a couple long-term projects combined with some downtime actions. So one example would be to frame her by planting written documents in her hand in her headquarters or somewhere that it could be found, and then using the contacts you have at the Blue Coats, specifically Wilkes Stanbury, to go and make a raid, find those documents, and then arrest her. So that would be an 8-part clock, which would be building the case. So like figuring out what kind of documents would be necessary, talking to the people, putting it all together. Then you'd be obtaining an asset, which would be trying to get a sample of Lissa's handwriting from somebody. So that would require an acquire asset roll. Then you would then obtain another asset, which is forged documents confirming the narrative that you want to present. Confirming the narrative, not conforming. So that you could then, and then obtaining an expert, or on a score, you could then plant those items in the headquarters. There, potentially you could hire some thieves or other people to go do it for you, or you guys could do it yourselves. Another option would be to attempt to force testimony from her. This could happen in a few ways. My thought was to first have a 6-part clock learning about Lissa's latest interests, what kind of business deal would win her over. The second would be obtaining an asset and hiring a con artist who could like develop a relationship with Lissa and posing maybe as a possible client for the Ravens. One of those options being a gentleman that you know named Ransonold Vane, who's a con artist who you once met back in the day. It was a possible cohort for the group. And then you could do another 6-part clock to help the con artist infiltrate the Ravens. And then a final one would be obtaining an asset of buying out a bar on the night of it, having Ransonold basically tease her or like taunt her into claiming responsibility for your guys' activities, like taking credit for them, essentially. Something to the effect of everything that gang is, I made them. And if you buy it out, fill the place with planted blue coats posing as gang members, and then have her make the confession and arrest her on the spot. So those are a couple possible ideas of ways you could go about framing her. Any other thoughts from people are, of course, welcome and interesting.
Let's just pretend that I had the whole crew come over to my place, and I made them dinner of boiled cabbage and little fish fillets.
Yeah.
Hope
love
y'all
it.
enjoyed that. And I said everything that you just said.
Yes.
I was like, and then, or we could pin it on her. Or we could get her to confess in a room full of blue coats pretending like they're normal ass people.
Like it's this tiny room of Hix's apartment, like Brahm's on a windowsill, the girl is like under a table. Aldo's on top of the table.
What do y'all think? Any ideas? Because I think, Bram, you went to school, right?
I mean, yeah, I don't see how that's relevant at the moment.
Right. Okay. This is what I'm thinking. Me and Bram, we investigate what exactly we can pin on her. We study this up. We figured that out. The second part of it was that we needed to steal some of her handwriting. I think that falls under the purview of our nameless sneaky friend.
That's me, yes. I could steal handwriting.
Right. We get Varric. Varric, would you have you ever dabbled in forgery? It seems like it'd be something that you would intuitively understand. I don't know why I feel that way.
Perhaps I have thought that I'm quite good at embodying another person. I'm sure I could do it in writing. I have been trained. The finest penmanship. I can adjust it.
Cool. Maybe we'll have the girl help you.
Maybe.
Right. I mean, we can work on it, perhaps.
The plan is to have the girl do everything. I don't have an objection to that.
Yeah, I think the idea is that I'm building the framework that she's working in. She's the pro, right? We need a sneaky person to get in and do a sneaky thing.
Whose ass do you need me to kick?
Surely someone will present themselves.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm not worried about the incidental, the emergent ass kicking.
The emergent ass kicking. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we have kicked so many asses. We've blown up so many city blocks that's what's got us into this mess. I think we need to stop seeking asses to kick and instead kick only the asses that are between us and what we want.
Yeah, I like that.
Pick our battles a little more carefully. I think
Profitable asses.
Well, yeah, there will be asses to kick if you set your heart's intention of wishing to kick ass. They will manifest as you pursue what you care about, Bram. I believe it.
So do I.
Yeah. So, I don't know. How are we feeling about that plan? It certainly does have... Having her confess in a room full of disguised bluecoats certainly has theatrics that I appreciate.
Hix, have you talked to Pascal at all lately? Any chance he could be? We could use our closer relationship with him to our advantage.
No, I've tried to see Pascal, but he won't see me. I thought we were friends, but I intend to.
Were you not blackmailing him?
Was that Pascal I was blackmailing?
I don't remember.
It's easy.
I can never keep track.
Yes, you blackmail so many people.
I just love to blackmail. No, he hasn't been seeing me, and you know what? It's actually really hurt my feelings. Because I thought he became our friend. So anyway, what I intend to do is I intend to sell her upriver to Wilkes Danbury, and as soon as she's headed up there, I want to get Pascal's attention and tell him that I'm giving him the crows back.
Yeah. I think that works.
That's my plan for Pascal.
It's very kind of you to deliver an entire criminal syndicate into his hands.
Well, I think that I don't know. She changed the name to the Ravens, which is reason enough to sell her upriver. It just seems like such a funny little like rebranding quibble. It's like, is this a PR move? I don't even like it. It's just another black bird. Like, way to go, Miss Clever. It's not even like a new direction. It's just totally defined by not Rorik's thing. It's weak in the long term. Pascal is a lot more even-headed than she is. I think that she is flexing a lot. And I mean, the district sure has more peace than ever, but I mean, they're going to get violent. All she's doing is like training them to be violent, like really violent.
Fair enough. So, we need someone to get a bit closer with her. And that would be the girl then?
Well, have you ever met Lissa, the leader of the Ravens? I turned to the girl.
No, I don't think so. Those are the bunch with the feathers everywhere.
It's very theatrical. You like them.
Theatrical? Am I theatrical?
Well, let's just put it this way. Our first connection with them had us waiting in a market for 3 hours before that asshole Pascal you like so much showed up to finally offer us a measly little deal. And of course, as you can see, branding your entire... I mean, come on. You know, they already have a name. I mean, we have no name. They have two.
Well, and
So
that's
for the
what
rest of us.
serves us. This is what really serves us. And this is what I'm getting at, is that most of the stuff that we're wanted for, we were doing for them to win their war. And perhaps, like, if they would be our homies and help us out with our endeavors instead of completely cutting us off, then we wouldn't sell them upriver. But, I mean, that was her choice, you know? And it's just so convenient that so much of what we have done has been for them. We were their arms. We moved their weapons.
I mean, you don't need to convince me. I'd be happy to get some heat off us. So I'm to be her friend then? Is there like a specific type of person she would be friends with? A character, perhaps?
Well, we have to find something that will get her attention and that she will bring her attention to, because she's busy and a bitch. So it requires something that is going to interest her. So I'm thinking that we need to develop a cover identity for you to be selling them something or providing some sort of service that she needs. So we have to figure out what that is.
She did seem to be big on new ideas, new people, new expansions, wanting to move away from the old ways of the Crow. So if you could present yourself as something modern and exciting.
And exciting.
You also get the sense that given the Crow's rising numbers, that they probably would be pretty open to jobs like protection jobs or rackets. You know, that's something that they have a lot of resources for.
Yes. You remember the first time we met you, when you hired us. We are a crew and you hired us.
That's true. For a ridiculously low sum of money, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I remember too.
Yes, I don't think any of us have forgotten, but I think perhaps, I mean, it may be worth exploring you as some kind of individual in need of protection, assistance. Perhaps they'd
Do
be
that.
more interested in money.
All right. I mean, I could even play sort of the same character, you know, like someone who cries a lot, I think.
Oh. Aldo like just shakes his head.
So I need protection for a particular event or...
Okay. So
Okay.
I don't have a map right here. Hix would know this, but
Yeah.
perhaps Hix wouldn't know this. Perhaps this is a gather information role that I need to do or something. But what I want to know, I think if we can somehow, if we get the girl to pose as perhaps a business owner in turf where Lissa would like to expand,
Yeah.
Like do some research into areas that they're trying to get into.
Sure. Yes. Yeah, that's certainly possible. Yeah. So she could be posing as a silk shore merchant or a docks merchant or a char hollow merchant. All of those districts are adjacent to Crow's Foot and having there's sort of some active tensions, like red sashes and ravens are having some conflict there. So that would definitely be a possible place to do it. The other thing, just going a little bit meta, is that if you want to basically the steps of, so if we're going for the getting someone to con her and then teasing her into saying something, you would start with a 6-part clock of sort of learning a bit about, you could learn about the type of business deal that would interest her, and then you could sort of develop these things as you go along with it, if you'd like.
Okay. Yeah. Let's begin the clock. We'll talk more about this later. We'll figure out the details later
Down the line.
Great. So I think I'm going to roll consort.
Okay.
Just because this was a fun discussion to get this 6-part clock started.
Yeah, sweet.
And I had to convince all of them with my harebrained idea.
I love it. Do you need a die? I can give you one.
Oh, cool. Yeah, pass it. Nice. Thanks. Okay. That is a 5.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so that means you get 2 parts on a 6-part clock. So 2 out of 6. We will name this clock Lissa Intel.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, your framing job has begun. We're now. Is there? Unless there's anything else you would like to do with that, Ben?
No.
We can move on. So now we're in downtime. So some people have taken some actions already, but yeah, what are people up to? What's the situation with the crew?
I'd like to find Bram.
Okay.
Perhaps at the Orca's Tooth, if that's where it says, if that's where you've been doing stuff and studying this book. Perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll find Bram in the old, is it captain's quarter? I guess
Yeah,
Billy Hook
sure.
wasn't necessarily the captain, but whatever his quarters were on the ship.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's sort of the
It's
control
Brum's
room.
bedroom.
He's got bare feet up on a desk in there. He's got the book open. He's kind of leaning back.
Yeah.
And I think Aldo will let himself in if the door is closed.
Aldo, what do you want?
Actually, I wanted to know if you could show me how to. I don't know what you've learned from this book.
Are you talking about attunement?
Yes.
Well, you want some kind of group study?
I mean, I suppose. I mean, you have been. Have you done it?
I've been working on it. You seem very reluctant. You seem afraid. You sure this is something you want to mix up in?
Yes. Yes. I would be lying if I didn't say if I told you I wasn't afraid. I think you can assume ghosts haven't really been a very a good part of my life and history, but I want to do this. I need to do this.
Well, some pretty strong feelings you've got. I suppose if we're going to go into this together, we should lay down some ground rules.
All right.
I don't know what we're going to find if we keep pushing. I'm learning little by little in this book. But what I've found, it has a way of creeping inside. You've seen the ghosts. You've seen they each have their own story, history. It informs the way they appear, the times they appear, the places they appear. The more I connect with them, the more I found I can feel what they felt. And I don't know if they still feel it, how conscious they are, but I know I could feel it. And I've had some close calls. But if we're going to go into this together, we've got to understand that we will be one another's connection to the real world, the material world. I'm just teaching myself, to be honest. So don't look to me for any lessons. But if you want to come along, be ready to feel what I felt, what they felt.
I'm ready.
Ted, can you give us any information? Like maybe I could do a downtime action to have gathered some information from the book. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I might have used 2 downtime actions already.
Gather information isn't a downtime action.
Oh, it's not. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, gather information is sort of loosely, it's just open.
Great. So maybe we can, I could do a roll to gather information and see kind of what I've been gleaning in the last, I don't know how long it's been since we got the book. I get the sense it's been like a week or 2.
Yeah, I think it's been maybe a little over, maybe 3 weeks.
Okay.
So I think there's a little bit. So I think you do the gather information, and then from there we can see if there's something that you and Aldo could do together in terms of, a ritual or something. So,
love it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think do a study or a survey.
Okay, cool. I'll do a study.
Awesome.
That is a 5.
Okay. So this passage from the book strikes you as you're reading. It says, "You who enter the White Gate, seeking the willow and the garden, you who walk up the mist-wreathed hill, you have felt the call already, but know not who calls. You know the voice, but you cannot repeat its words. You know the music, but cannot hum its tune. In the garden, all things can be remembered. All things can be found. This is a promise, and it is a warning." And in the continued text of it, you learn again a ritual that might allow you to attempt to, like you did in your previous sort of dream, step through what the book calls the White Gates and enter a sort of liminal space between your world, the material world, and the Ghostfield.
Great.
So either of you could attempt an attune roll to do that.
Yeah, so I'll read that passage. And as I'm kind of putting out the little nub of my cigar on an ashtray on the desk, I say, so, I don't know how much of that poetry bullshit you can understand, but from what I've been able to uncover, we're seeking after the White Gate, this liminal space between here and hereafter. I don't know if there's anything else to do but try to get there.
And I think Aldo will. He'll close his eyes.
Okay.
And
Bram curls his fist up, and as has been seen a couple times, his flesh becomes kind of translucent and ghostly.
Oof.
And he gets this ghost fist, and I will repeat some of the language of the passage, Ted, that you shared, as I attempt to attune. And now when we do this, one person's going to roll, but can it sort of represent us both trying to
absolutely.
get there?
Yeah, you can both be doing it simultaneously.
What do you I guess it makes sense for Bram to roll.
I think, but in this case, I think Aldo is focusing, and as you read it and you do this, you hear him say out loud, just in a hush, "Danya," and he's gonna reach out.
Cool.
So I'm gonna push myself to get 1 die in attunement.
And I'll help you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Assist.
take a stress to 8. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it. So 2 dice.
Okay. double fives.
Ooh, okay. So there's Bram, you're sort of trying this out, and feeling a little bit maybe bashful, is like, I don't know how this is gonna work, but like also feeling the strange power and connection as your hand takes this power. You reach it out, and then maybe Aldo like grabs onto your hand, reaches out himself, and both of you step through this like icy curtain into the Ghostfield. And immediately, you both are brought into a dream. Bram, you are sitting on a wooden rocking chair, and there's like there's grass beneath your feet. There is a withered orange tree, and it's circled by faded hibiscus. Aldo, you were there as well. There is a deep pond next to this tree and with a tiny waterfall. It is the most beautiful summer you remember, and Aldo, you know this. This is one of your family members' country houses in Catalan. You hear a voice. You look up and you see a dancing child saying, "Tio, regatami. Saltes de tomba agua es así. Regata." And then you hear laughter, a childish scream of delight, and a splash as this child leaps off the waterfall and jumps into the water. And immediately as the splash happens, boom, both of you are standing next to the River Dusk. There's a canal to your right. The old country and its colors and its skies are gone, replaced by the gray morning. There's a very tall man crouching at the edge of a canal. His clothes are simple but wealthy. His shoes are mirror slick, reflecting the sky and the street. A cigarette dangles from one hand and a ring from the other, a ring that you once gave your niece.
The fuck was that?
Sorry, do you say anything, Aldo?
Am I capable of speaking to him?
Yeah, in this moment, yeah. You guys are still in the dream. You're still there.
Okay. It's my ring. I gave it to her. Can I get close to it?
Yeah, you step closer to him. He crouches down. He's staring down at something in the canal for a long time as he smokes his cigarette. You try to turn your head to look down into the canal, and your head just stops. It cannot move far enough to actually see what's in the canal.
Although I don't like this. We're not at the White Gate.
No.
Where'd you take us?
No, I need to know.
The man.
Who is this person?
The man steps up. He starts walking with the man with the shining shoes. You follow him. You can't tell where he is, what district you're in. It's too blurred. It's too duskfall. Eventually, he reaches the steps of a townhouse, steps inside, and you're sort of a little bit like Aldo. You're following quickly, but Bram, you just feel yourself dragged on this, following him. And there's a large man sitting in an enormous armchair in the library. The man's face is in shadow, but you can see rings on his left hand, multiple rings. And Bram, you recognize them as the rings that you saw on the hand of the man in your last dream, the one who was calling one of your former students into his carriage. The man, on his, there's one ring on his index, one on his ring, one on his pinky finger. The man says, "Is it done?" And the man with the shining shoes says, "Yes." And then boom, you think you're going to finally be back in the Orcus Tooth, but you're not. You are standing in shallow gray grass again, very different from the Catalani grass. You're barefoot. Above your head, you see the spreading branches of a willow tree. You turn and you look out over a vista, and from where you stand through a bank of fog that is clearing, you look down at all of Duskfall. You, Aldo, hear a voice. Encuentrami. And Bram, you hear a voice. Mr. Borden. Also, the girl, you dream of a willow tree. You dream that you are barefoot underneath a willow tree, and you hear a voice in a crowd at a political rally shouting, "Mom!" All of you wake up.
I grab Aldo by the throat and I say,
What the fuck did you do? Where'd you take us? Who is this person you were asking about?
Carson, what does Aldo do?
Nothing.
Yeah.
He's
Aldo
completely
is
still.
Aldo is completely still. He stares blankly. It does not appear that he has woken up.
He's probably lolling. Nothing, no sense of consciousness.
I'll kind of just slam him against the wall a little bit, see if he wakes up.
Yeah. Nothing.
Oh, no.
I will pick him up and sling him over my shoulder and kind of kick the door open a bit with my foot and look out onto the deck of the Orcus. We're on the Orcus Tooth again?
Yes, you're on the Orcus Tooth. Yep.
And see who's out here.
Great. You you're as you're lifting up, you hear a knocking at the porthole above you. There's so like you're lifting it up, there's someone knocking.
So there's a porthole.
So you're in the lower deck of the ship.
Yeah,
You
I
can go
gotcha,
up the ladder to get out. Yeah.
Okay, great.
That's the way.
I'll just call out.
Who's there? Who's knocking?
Person, what's the answer?
You hear another loud knocking, and he says,
Where is he? Where's who? Who are you?
Aldo, where is Aldo?
Do I recognize the voice?
Does he? Did you
think so.
encounter?
What is happening?
You go up, the porthole opens, and you look up and see the face of Eckerd, the gravedigger.
What do you want? He's right here. What the fuck do you want?
And he's gonna like descend if he can. Is it a descent?
Yeah, I'll let him come down the ladder.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
He's coming down. I could feel him. What did you do?
I didn't do anything. He took us somewhere. It's not important.
He's gonna sling him off of your shoulder and lay him down and open up his chest, like his shirt on his chest.
Not his ribcage.
No, yeah, rip his chest open and take his heart out. Yeah, he's got a
This
deal
is
to
not
make.
surprising enough.
Yeah, yeah, and rips it open to check his chest. Ted, is it?
Yeah, he's got an enormous ghost burn all across his chest, and the largest you've ever seen, calcified, hardened. It is not like burning blue like it usually does when ghosts around, but there's like a slight pulse and can sort of somewhat matching his heartbeat.
Mm-hmm. And Eckerd will undo a bit of the top of his shirt, and there is a matching scar that is also matching a bit of this light pulsing. I could feel him. What were you doing?
We're tuning to the Ghostfield, looking for the White Gate. Is he dead?
No, not yet.
Was he dead? I heard what you said to him when we came and dropped the body with you. You said you brought him back, didn't you?
Yes. I did. It wasn't like this, though. He was dead. He would have been dead. I brought him back then. But... And he's gonna start just kind of like slapping Aldo on the face a little bit.
Aldo doesn't really respond, but you feel he's breathing, and there's a moment where he sort of and it sort of becomes regular again.
I don't know.
There's nothing you could do?
I mean, I could. He's gonna try. He's gonna attune as well.
Okay.
For a second, just to see if he can find it. And as he does this, he kind of closes his eyes for a minute, puts his hand on his chest, and just for a second, before he does this, he says, "I don't know if it'll work." And he'll look 2 and 3.
Ooh, okay. So Eckerd tries to reach out and contact the, as I think we are all realizing, the traumatized Aldo. He is, so he reaches out, like, you feel, Bram, the energy of Eckerd attuning. This guy has a little bit more practice with this. And sort of pressing out, trying to sense this. And what you sense, Eckerd, is that there are several ghosts on the canal who have become aware of what happened. They're being drawn by it, and so you need to get Aldo probably
right
out
now.
of the Orca's tooth. Yeah.
He'll eyes will snap open. He'll be like, "Help me carry him out."
Yeah, I'll just pick him up over both shoulders.
Yeah. with one hand by the ankle.
Like a sack of flowers.
Just do it, yeah.
Yeah. I'll take him back, and we'll just start running.
Yeah.
Where,
You could take.
Where are we going?
Take him. We'll take him back to the graveyard. Back to my place. So you keep close. We'll run.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll book it.
Yeah, so you guys are able, without the requirement of a roll, you just could tell they were on their way, but once you're on the streets where there are people and protections against the ghosts, you're able to make it all the way to Eckerd's graveyard. And so basically there's a large church of the Old Faith of Duskfall, and there's a big graveyard and a gravekeeper's hut, which is where not hut, but little stone house where you came here a few nights ago, dropping off a body. He opens the door. You're welcomed inside. The smell of, I don't know, formaldehyde and other chemicals and
Normal
embalming and
stuff.
Yep.
Luckily, there's no body on the table, and we're gonna throw him right up on the
Yeah.
table.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you let him do this? Why would you?
I didn't know any of this. I didn't know this could happen. I didn't know he had any history of it. You seem to know more than you're telling me. What are you not telling me?
I'm telling you.
Is his spirit gone?
I have this feeling that he's not gonna come back until he wants to. When I saved his life, when I saved his life, it was from ghosts, ready to rip him to shreds. And he willingly seeking them, inviting them. It's a bunch of bullshit from the past, really, is what it is.
He was looking for someone. He said a name. Someone he was trying to find. It caught me off guard.
Was it Danya,
Yeah.
his niece? She disappeared here in Duskfall. So I gather. He doesn't really talk to me much anymore. Outside of the usual, I need something and fuck you.
I go to the window and kind of glance out at the graveyard and I say,
You sure this is safe to be here amongst the dead?
It's safe. If any ghosts are coming, I'll know. That's a good question, Ted.
Yeah.
Thinking about that.
Yeah, so world safety.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as the dead are given specific treatment by spirit wardens when they die to prevent them from becoming ghosts. But there are many people who die without the chance at that. So all of the people in this cemetery they go through the approved process. So in terms of that, you're pretty safe.
Right.
Yeah, there's no concern about. Cemeteries are not like a normal haunt of ghosts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Be safe here. I don't. Honestly, I know a little about ghosts, but I'm no expert. Everything I learned about ghosts was from saving his.
Well, if you don't think he wants to come back, then what do we do?
I can watch him.
And wait, or
I wish I had better answers. I can try reaching out again from time to time. You shouldn't have let him do this. And you see, there's just like a flash of like concealing a bit of anger.
he begged me. He came in asking questions. It's not my fault.
Suppose just stubborn, obsessive, does whatever he wants.
All right. You take care of him, and you send us word if there's any change.
I will. Where can I find you?
Oh, the Orca's Tooth. If you don't find us there, you can look us up at the Queen's Magnolia.
Okay.
Bram strides out into the night. He'll kind of like pull up his collar around his neck and light a cigar as he's walking quickly through the graveyard, still looking around at the tombstones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Does Eckerd do anything when he's alone with the body?
Yeah, I think he's sort of
The body.
paces.
It's Aldo. Don't call it the body.
Sorry.
Don't call our friend
But he's
Aldo the body.
What he's with
What are you doing, you guys?
He's with
What are
the
you
corpse.
doing?
I'm sorry.
Is this why you're like Ranson Old Vane? Wink, wink. I'm just like, sorry. I'll shut up. What happened?
So,
sorry. I'll
what's
shut
happening?
Up.
What's happening mechanically for anyone who's like, oh no? So Aldo is traumatized, and often when you take a trauma, you are not obliged to, but the game encourages your character to like disappear for a little while. So Aldo maxed out his stress, and the game encourages also that during that time you can play another character. And so Carson and I previously discussed having him play Eckerd for a little bit.
What?
Secrets.
Hold on. We're going to a party with Eckerd, not Aldo, but Eckerd.
Listen,
He seems like even less fun than
Yeah,
Aldo
I'm like,
at a party.
I don't even fucking know you. I'm not gonna roll with you to a party. Like, did you get invited? Who are you going with? Not me. I want to go with. Okay.
So I'm going to go find Hix right away,
Yeah.
and call the girl and Varric as well.
Okay.
Cool.
And,
we can meet
what-
you somewhere.
Yeah, let's meet like at like a dinner haunt that we have, something.
I love
you know.
Red
it. What's
Deer.
it called, Graham? Name it now.
Oh, name. Yeah, go ahead. Name one.
Oh, I'm not good at this. The Twig.
The Twig.
Twig.
Yes.
The twig. Oh, I love the twig.
So
Cool.
so once we're all kind of gathered, I'll
It's like a
kind of
kebab
one by
joint.
one as you arrive, I'll say, it's Aldo. He's gone. I dropped him off at Eckerd's. He
What?
wasn't responsive.
Wait,
Some kind of coma.
Like he's dead?
You dropped
He's
him in the
dead?
graveyard.
I don't think he's dead. He's still breathing.
Well, why'd you take him to Eckerd? That was the.
That's the
Eckerd
man who
ca-
cuts up the
Eckerd
dead
came
bodies,
after
isn't he?
me.
What the?
He somehow knew that something was going on, and he came after me.
What do you mean something's going on? What happened?
We were attuning to the Ghostfield.
Whoa.
There's
There's something. I love you, Hix. There's something I didn't understand. Something deeper that was going on with Aldo. And when we attuned, he somehow couldn't come back. I don't know. It was very unexpected, and I tried to revive him, and then Eckerd showed up and ushered us back to the graveyard. He's there now. I don't know what to do.
Eckerd came like across town because he knew that y'all were fucking with the Ghostfield.
He
That's
must have
amazing.
felt it. He was there in an instant.
Well, maybe Aldo just needed a break, it sounds like. I don't know. He's been acting like crazy lately. I mean, I'm not really one to judge anyone else.
No, you're not.
Anyone's behavior. But I mean, he hasn't been well. Like, you've been watching him. He's been like really compensating. So maybe he's just going off and dealing with Aldo stuff. You said he's not dead, right?
Yeah, but he's not talking. He's not responsive.
I mean, that did us all some good if Aldo would not talk so much.
I really don't understand how you can be so blasé about this.
I'm not blasé about it. I'm sorry.
Sorry, nonplussed.
I'm certainly not. I guess I'm unconcerned. That's how I feel.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking obvious.
Well, I mean, Aldo has had a death wish. Have you noticed that Aldo's had a death wish for a while? He has so much unreconciled shit from the war that he hasn't like been able to he hasn't had time to deal with. And I feel like his psyche came knocking and was like, yo, lay down for a while. Breathe in here for a bit. So I'm sorry if I'm not like wringing my hands over it. Like if he shuffles off this mortal coil because of this episode, then perhaps so much the better for him. I don't know. I mean, I love the guy, but he's not been well. You gotta admit that.
Well, I hope you treat me a bit better if I find myself incapacitated.
Aldo looked after you when you were unconscious for that time.
I'm not saying that we don't look after him. I'm not saying that we write the guy off, but I'm saying like let him lay down for a bit. We don't got to be like, get him up. My tummy hurts. Get the doctor up. I don't know. I'm sorry. On
that note, my tummy doesn't hurt, but if it did, we might require a doctor of some sort. And given our occupation, somewhat concerning, we don't have someone.
I don't know, man. I'm trying to get shot a lot less. It's been a tough year, and I've been shot more than ever before. But that's not what we're talking about right now. Bram, I don't want you to think that I don't love Aldo or that I'm like not concerned for him, but I think that things happen the way that they need to happen. It seems crazy that Eckerd knew that y'all were doing that and came from across town to pick our boy up and take him to the ghost hospital. Like maybe this is for the best.
You are completely mad. You know that.
Yeah, I mean, I think a healthy person in an insane society will look absolutely fucking mad.
Bram just shakes his head and buries himself in whatever food he's ordered.
Kebabs. It's like mushroom kebabs at called Twig or whatever.
Perfect.
The girl is gonna try. I mean, like everyone's around, but sort of like as an aside to Bram, and this happened last night. I say because I gave up the habit of dreaming many years ago. It was better that I try not to dream, but I had a vivid and an odd dream last night.
Really? Did you see, I don't know, did you see Catalan?
I've never been to Catalan and I wouldn't know what it looked like. I saw a willow tree.
Willow. I was about to say that.
You were about to say a willow tree.
Yeah, there was a willow tree. When we attuned, I wasn't in control. I couldn't tell where we were going. We were leaping from place to place. We saw a man with rings on his fingers.
You'll sense that Bram is kind of troubled by that particularly despite, it kind of sounds like an innocuous detail. And then we were standing under a willow tree.
Did you hear a girl crying for her mother?
I did.
Or Sod?
What do you know about that?
About the girl crying for her mother?
Yes, in the willow tree. Does it have any significance to you?
I mean, I don't know anything about a willow tree. I've never left the city, but I think the girl was me.
You do.
Ted, did it sound like my voice?
The one
From
that
many
you heard,
years ago?
The one that you heard did. Yeah, I mean, as far as you would understand your own voice.
Okay.
Bram, you did hear a different voice calling. It was a young woman's voice calling your name.
Okay.
Yeah,
Aldo
so
heard a
clearly
different
Bram's
voice
not like
speaking. Yeah.
Bram's not totally like feeling the puzzles fitting together, but he'll take the girl at her word. Am I sensing any sort of covering up? I guess I was wondering that until you came out and said that it was you. But.
Sure. I mean, I'll leave that to Kristen.
Sense any kind of like...
if you're concealing. Also, if you want to, you can keep it behind a roll on his part. If you want to leave it to chance.
Sure, you want to roll?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. What would I roll?
Study or survey, I think, probably would fit.
Yeah.
But if you have a different one you think would work.
I will study her as she's talking.
Okay.
It's a 6.
Okay. Any indicators?
Double 6s.
Bram has got your number.
Not only do you sense that she's telling the truth about her having heard her own voice and seen a willow tree, but with double 6s, I'll say you can also tell that she is deeply disturbed and that this is bringing up traumatic history.
Okay. Well, I'll leave it there.
I thought it might be a good memory.
Ghosts are so often associated with
Maybe if we're playing a different RPG, Carson.
Well, I suppose Aldo will not be accompanying us to the ball.
I mean, would Eckerd want to?
I couldn't tell you. Perhaps we'll go speak with him.
I mean, is it worth having another person? We don't have to, I suppose.
So, I'm somewhat concerned that many of our party seem to harbor some sort of dislike of the nobility. I've picked up on that from a few of you. And I think it probably would be helpful to have someone else who isn't outwardly hostile towards the other party goes. It might be helpful to have Eckerd with us.
Is Eckerd not openly hostile to the nobility?
I don't know, but I'm willing to roll the dice on him as opposed to...
Hold on. What did you just say?
Hix, it's just I feel as though you don't particularly appreciate power structures of the city and the people who operate.
Bram leans over to the point where, like, it's clear that he, the girl, and Hix are on one side of the table, and Varric's on the other.
To say that I don't appreciate the power structure would be accurate. Yes. Go on though. You were.
I was.
Go on.
We are about to enter into a very delicate situation, and I am somewhat concerned that some of us have expressed a dislike of the upper class and may not feel comfortable trying to fit in there. And so I was rather assuming I would be able to count on Aldo being a little bit of a calming influence, which I'm going to have to adjust that plan. So
You can trust us not to kick someone in the chest, if that's what you're asking. If we're going there, we're going to get information,
I mean,
to
are
make
you
contacts.
asking? Yeah, I mean, are you asking us to kiss ass?
No. I'm just saying it would be helpful if there's one more person who's perhaps a little. I mean, what do we know about Eckerd?
He hangs out with dead bodies all the time. He's
Yeah,
where we get.
He's an arsehole, as far as I've seen.
Aren't we all?
Sure.
Well, not like him. I mean, I don't know the guy. I don't pretend to know the guy, but Aldo certainly didn't like him.
I suppose the real question is, will he fit into Aldo's costume?
It's true.
Because this whole conversation might be for nothing.
I did already stitch the costumes together, so I don't.
He does seem to be about Aldo's size. Good work.
I am going to leave an opening for Ted to help make this more justified.
Here's one. Let me help you. I'm sorry. I was having too much fun. I didn't realize you felt you were floundering.
No, we're all just sitting here being like, how do we justify being
So let me get a little bit more information to you about the party that you are attending. The solstice is here, and this is the event that is being celebrated. It is a traditional holiday, and there are often many masked balls this time of year because it's seen that the summer is a time of year in Dust Bowl where people can try on new faces, attempt new versions of themselves, something that the girl might resonate with to some degree. The place is Felmoor Manor, the estate of the eponymous Leviathan Hunter family. Lady Felmoor is a Leviathan Hunter captain of great repute. She's currently out at sea on the great ship Terrapin's Blade, but her husband, a flamboyant socialite, is hosting the annual fete in her absence. So Kyrol tells you essentially that people to get in probably need some sort of invite, and he can have either a +1 or a +1 and a +2. So he can bring potentially 2 people, but it would be helpful to find other contacts to help you get into the party so that you have, someone else basically accompanying you in to help reduce suspicion. It just so happens that one thing that Varric became aware of is that, or was considering, is that Aldo might have military contacts, as both Eckerd and Aldo served in the military. And so Eckerd might have a contact with someone who could help you get in.
Carson, what character do you want to play?
At the pot.
Tell us any of them, and we'll get them in.
Ash Boy? We'll get you
Ash Boy, Meriden.
I will not take Ash Boy to a masquerade.
No, I think Eckerd's going to the party.
All right, cool. Great.
We should perhaps go and ask Eckerd if he'd like to join us.
All right.
And help
let's
get
do it.
who. So, my very good friend Kyrol has kindly offered us these invitations, and he's offered one for me and perhaps someone else who would like to go with us. The old gang.
What car?
I
The
actually,
boys.
I have a date to the ball. I secured myself a date of my own.
Who?
Well, Ted, who was this noble person who I was able to who I can flash back to, either having known or meeting and seducing and convincing them that Hix would be a fun dalliance, perhaps, for the summertime.
Yes, there is a person. I think maybe see this person when we arrive at the party. I think it might be best if Hix is a little bit mysterious about it. So, yeah.
So when you said kiss ass, you literally okay, right?
I mean, whatever you're into, but yeah, I might do a little of that later. That very night.
That's the after party at the Noble Sex Club. That's.
I might have a contact that could get me in, so I don't need to go with you.
All right.
I have to ask her, but she tends not to have her own dates to these things, so.
I am so excited to meet her.
Right. Me too.
So that means it's more quality time with Bram and Kyrol. Good.
Oh, it would be my pleasure.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. Yes.
Those are really good scenes, by the way. So yeah, I am looking forward to some time with Kyrol, Bram, and Varric.
Oh yes.
All right, cool. I don't know if we're done with this scene.
Sure.
I would like to gather some information to identify something that we can steal while so many of us are at this party, because it wouldn't be, I'm sure the party will be fun, but where I really get my kicks is in taking things
Profit.
and selling them.
Yes, indeed. And often moving them from place to place.
I love to move them. The logistics of flow are just do it for me.
Yes. Yeah, I love that. So maybe as Varric is heading off to talk to Eckerd about getting involved in this party, if we want to, we have sort of talked ourselves out of needing a specific invite for for our boys. But I think if we could, we can have that scene happen. Maybe that's however we want to arrange the cars as people are coming. But anyway, we'll have that happen. And then, Hix, how do you want to go about looking for information on that? So you know that the party's coming. The whole of the nobility of Duskwall is abuzz with it. You think the invite list is there's at least going to be 250 people there. It's big shindig.
Great. I'm looking for. Basically, I'm looking for something that would really speak to Bram's or the girl's strengths. Meaning, I'm looking for like something that could be like infiltrated or smashed and grabbed, or like,
Sure.
If there's like, do they have a safe on the property that somehow we could somehow get into?
Sure.
I don't know what.
Yeah.
I guess
Italian job it straight down into the basement.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
or
make a
whatever.
roll.
Like,
Yeah,
is there like to perhaps I'll just go case the joint.
Sure.
I'll go case the joint and just gather some info and see if they got canals going in, if they got
Cool.
just what their servants detail is like, what those people might want or what they're into.
Yes. I love it. Yeah.
So
what kind of role do you think would work for that?
I suppose let's start with survey.
Yeah.
Would study what would be the difference between study and survey? Survey is to like regard something and consider.
You'd probably be like taking a fisherman's
outcomes?
boat out and getting like the broad sense of the thing, like maybe like staying there for a few hours watching the come-ins and goings with some binoculars. You're like trying to get a sense of it. Study might be consulting, like maybe seeing if you can get a hold of the blueprints, or like getting some more info from people individually.
Okay, cool. I'll survey. I'll go out there. I'll go out there with Tormas.
Yeah, awesome.
And I'll survey. So I'm just out here like these binoculars on this boat.
Yeah. I love it.
Tormas is there, and I'm just looking, and I'm just like, Tormas.
Yeah, what?
Heard you carried me out of there when I got my ass beat in the street. Is that right?
Did my best. Yes.
Well,
honestly, a pretty lightweight. You're the one I'd prefer to carry.
Yeah, well, Hope you don't have to do that again. But I did want to thank you.
No, don't even worry about it. You're a good employer. I got no complaints about you.
Cool, man.
Case
in the joint.
Yeah.
And I rolled a 5.
Awesome. So I think also like Tormas probably is surprisingly talkative. Like you guys come out on one of the little Orca's Tooth side boats, and you guys like as you're going through the canal, he's talking to you about like he's taking a night class in like sewing. Like he's just learning a little bit about that. And
yo, that's cool. What do you want to sew?
Well, I'm interested in leather working specifically, but I thought it would be good to start with needle and thread and stuff. And so,
wow,
I don't know. They didn't have a leather working class, and you know, it was just, I just want to be better. You know, the thing is, like, I got this, and he lifts up his mechanical hand, powered by electroplasmic stuff, and he says, the fact that I got this, I figure I might as well use it for different things besides hitting things and having stupid ass kids blow it up.
You're really holding on to that, huh, Tormas?
I don't think he's holding on to much anymore.
Tormas says, "You're right. I'm sorry. I'll not bring it up."
I mean, I don't really. You're right. I mean, he's just a kid, and if you want to hold this much energy against him and give him this much power over you, it's just going to make you suffer, my man. It's just going to make you suffer, and you can let it go. And it sucks that you have to work with him because he is an asshole sometimes. But, I mean, you're an asshole sometimes, and I'm an asshole sometimes. And we're just, we got this group going. And, I mean, I didn't ask you out here so I could talk to you about Varric. I'm just talking to you about your life because, I don't know, we've developed a rapport, Tormas. I kind of like you. Anyway.
Roll a consort. See if you can convince him not to hate Varric.
I rolled a 6.
We're gonna start an 8-part clock. which is Tormas considers Varric a person.
Okay, Varric, I'm gonna let you be the keeper of this spot.
That's fine. I will keep pushing that button.
Yeah, can we all add to it?
Or subtract from it.
I think Varric will have reduced effect on any rolls he attempts with it, but yes. Yeah.
Cool. I didn't even intend that, but
so actually, for simplicity, if you can start a clock, this is now 3 out of 8. So 6 fills 3 slots.
Wow.
So this is Tormas accepts Varric. So, if you guys were wondering, if any viewers were wondering what the big bad of this season is,
it was Tormas.
Tormas' grudge.
All we need is to bring each other together in friendship, and then we can retire.
That's it. All right, Hix, you're watching the estate from a distance. This place. Oh man, this place is opulent. You're glad you came out on the boat, because if you were to come by carriage and be at the front gate, you wouldn't be able to see the house from there. It's that much ground. It is at the distal edge of Brightstone, very far out. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's an enormous place. You'll get a better view of it as you come closer. But there are 2 canal access points to the house itself. There's a dock, which then comes up to the grounds. You imagine the canals that access they're just like tunnels underneath the bottom of the house, like it's that Loire Valley chateau with, I don't know if it's familiar. But the docks are probably where guests come in, and you see a couple of you see some people bringing in some big glass tanks, and you see that they've got what appear to be trophies. And so in the sort of interim, as you're learning about the house and the family, you learn that they have an illustrious trophy room full of Deathlands hunting trophies. And also, as you're talking to Tormas, he also reveals that he has a little bit of a gossipy side and knows a little. He ends up talking to you about the nobility for a little bit and like some different folks that he knows, and he's like, who I wouldn't want to be. It's one of those like questions where like someone's been talking for a long time and they ask you a rhetorical question that you don't want to answer. but he's like,
Hit me,
he's like,
Tormas.
Yeah, he says, well, I really wouldn't want to be Thurgood Rathsbane. That man, he is so desperate for Juliana Felmoor's love. They say that he bought a brooch worth 3 coin to give to her, and he's going to give it to her at the party. But it's just not going to work. She's not going to accept it.
Okay. Oh my God, that's so juicy, Tormas. What is Thurgood giving to who?
Thurgood Rathsbane, nephew of Hem Rathsbane, the assemblyman, is giving a brooch worth 3 coin to Juliana Felmoor, who is the daughter of the Felmoor parents, who are the owners of the mansion.
That's some pretty juicy gossip, Tormas. What sort of publications are you reading?
I mean, the bride's
No, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Sorry, yeah.
It's sort of be like kissing and telling, because this is juicy bits. So I'm gonna come. I know who to talk to now, but yeah, it's
So
funny.
those are
I
two,
came out here thinking that I was gonna be casing this joint, but really, what I gained was a new friend. Like clap him on the back.
After about, you guys head back towards the Orca's Tooth, and after about a half hour, Torma says, don't tell Arisha that I read those magazines. It's not.
I don't talk to
don't-
Arisha, man.
Yeah, I just prefer that she don't know,
Yeah, I mean, no one's gonna know, dude. This is between you and me. I don't really tell people stuff.
I appreciate that, man. All right, so yeah, that's your gather information.
Good.
So, what does the interaction with Eckerd look like? Who is there? How does he get joined into this situation? We can talk about this on a meta level as well as a scene level.
What are you thinking, Carson? Do you have anything in mind for this?
Yeah.
I think if somebody asks him, he's willing to go.
Yeah, I'd like to show up at Eckerd's,
Because you've been there
not his
twice.
house. Yeah, I've been there twice now. Yeah.
And I'm gonna
I'm
come along with my measuring tape.
Oh.
I'm gonna come check on Aldo. Eckerd
Yes.
may be there.
My gosh, is this a visitation?
Yep. So these folks show up at the door of your gravedigger's house, a little estate. Yeah. What do you do, Eckerd?
It's about time someone came to visit.
What does that mean, Eckerd?
I just mean,
Never mind. I'm not here to talk to you. I'm gonna walk over to Aldo, take his hand,
yeah, he's in the
look
back.
at his face. Right. How is
Yeah,
he looking?
Aldo looks he looks all right. You see that there's some open jars of jam and other sort of easily digestible foods that Eckerd has been feeding him.
Mm-hmm.
The place is clean where he's being kept. It's got a mattress on it was sort of like a wooden slab, but he's put some stuff on it to soften it. Aldo is he looks like he's asleep,
Okay. He's breathing.
Yeah.
Heart's ticking away.
Yeah, exactly. So Eckerd, is the scar on Aldo's chest visible?
I think it's probably, yeah.
Yeah, great. So that's open.
Yeah,
and it's
it is.
slightly pulsing a little bit with sort of ghost energy.
And Eckerd will come over and just cover it up for a sec.
forgive me for asking this,
Hmm.
but the first time I was here, Aldo was buying a body from you for the purpose of whatever the hell he does, and then we brought you a dead body, which I do notice is now gone, which is what we asked. Thank you.
It's been like
You're
3
not
weeks.
you're not doing anything untoward to our friend here, are you? No experimentations or anything.
Of course. No.
All right.
Of course.
Just to make sure, it's your profession is somewhat.
He was my friend before he was yours.
Yes.
You would describe your relationship as friend relationship. Is that did I hear that right?
Not anymore.
Okay. But you obviously care for him.
Yes. It's not my choice. I mean, it's not my choice. I care for him. That is my choice. It's not my choice that we aren't friends.
These things can be complex, I understand.
We're grateful that you're looking after him despite his difficulties with you. It's much appreciated.
He needs someone to save him. Is there something I can
Yes,
do for
yes.
you all?
There is. Would you like to come to dinner?
There is a... If you see it close enough, there is a smile at the corner of his mouth that he quickly puts away.
I'm like looking at Varric like,
Yeah.
like, is that why we're all here?
The rest of us are doing the John Travolta.
Yes. Yes, I would.
Well, all of us, we'll go to dinner, shall we?
Yeah, why don't we do that? Good idea.
All right. Yeah.
I guess I'm free.
Could I just do one thing? I'll explain everything to all of you in a moment. Just do one thing, and he's gonna go. He's brought with him a little something covered in a cloth, and he's going to lay that on the table and pull it up to reveal Merrick, the Tycherosi pigeon, and sort of just leave him by Aldo's sides. And say, "All right, that was something important from him for me. I just want him to."
Is this his?
No,
Is this his pigeon?
It's not a pigeon, actually. It's a rare Tycherosi bird.
That's a pigeon.
I don't know. Aldo gave him to you. He said it was very difficult to acquire. He's
Well, whatever you say. It's a pigeon, and he's gonna like tidy up his hands and get ready to leave.
The girl is trying to catch his eye and sort of like shake her head, like, please don't.
Eckerd?
Eckerd, yeah, like don't
Yeah.
don't
Don't break
disillusion
this?
him. Yeah.
Oh, okay, and I think he'll catch it. He'll catch it and go. "Ah,
Oh, no, good. Yes. Anyway, as I was saying, dinner.
Good save, everyone."
So smash cut to everyone at dinner.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
haven't explained this. What I'd like to do is fold this into a bit of a Indulge vice, because I'm pretty high on stress, and take everyone to a super fancy dinner in Brightstone.
Prepping
and
them all
also-
for the party.
And also use it as an opportunity to be like, okay, does everyone have table manners? Does everyone know which forks to use? You go outside in. Here's how you shake hands. If you're wearing a suit, you cannot show where your shirt meets your pants. You have to either be wearing a waistcoat or have a cummerbund, because it's a big faux pas otherwise.
You'll notice that Eckerd is seating perfectly. He knows.
The girl also knows everything.
Okay, good.
Well,
Hix-
Bram is a barbarian. Bram will just like get one thing wrong on purpose just to piss Varric off.
No, I know.
Hix-
The knife goes on the inside. I'm not an idiot.
No. Yes. All right, good.
Hix eats with perfect manners, staring icily at Eckerd, eating very primly, analyzing, scrutinizing.
He'll look back and he'll actually go like this.
So what do you do all day? What do you spend your time doing?
I mean, I think you saw it. Pretty much. Every
I
day.
saw some things, but I want you to tell me just what it is that you get up in the morning for.
Like anybody else, I get up to make my ends meet, stay alive, live another day, and looks a lot like taking in bodies and finding places for them.
As long as we're asking questions, do you have your shoe size?
Oh, yes. And he'll give it. I don't know how they measure shoes in this place. 13 units.
It's a big 'em.
Yeah, and
big 'em
she'll whip
shoe.
out the measuring tape because there's probably not a standardized system.
Yeah,
And
likely
sort
not.
of be measuring a shoe at the fancy table.
So, Eckerd, if you haven't picked up on it yet, we haven't just asked you out here for a nice evening.
I think I
we
picked
do have-
up on it. You're down
Yes.
a man.
Yes, and we do need, as you said, we need a man to attend this masquerade with us to find some secretive person who wants to offer us a job.
I could do it.
You can do it.
Yeah, I'm a lot of fun at parties.
Yes, you seem it.
I'll be the judge of that. I'm sorry, man. I don't mean to be coming at you so hard.
It's understandable. I'm sure everything you've heard about me from Aldo has been not good.
No, I mean he doesn't really talk that much about you. Sorry to disappoint, but I was hoping to hang out with my friend, and I mean, yeah, he does talk some shit. So I mean, the thing is that we're an organization and we have things that need to happen over the course of what we do, and so yeah, I mean, we're checking you out because we do need to ask your help, because Aldo was going to be another pair of eyes and ears and another skill set that was going to be showing up with us for the next however long Aldo is sleeping. And so yeah, we need your help, but we got to know what you do, man.
Well, if it's eyes you need, happens to be right in my wheelhouse.
All right.
Sharp eyes, looking for somebody. Do we have any information about it? He like very quickly settles into like a business rapport, kind of dangerously professional.
Cool. All right.
For the sake of the crew on a meta level, Eckerd is a hound.
Yes, he's a hound.
With the same amount of experience as all of you.
Oh.
Carson has made a character sheet for Eckerd.
Very fun. Very, very fun.
Yeah.
Great. That is what I want. I was trying to court out.
Yeah.
meta-
Generally,
meta-
generally good at lots of survey, hunt, a bit of prowl, little of two.
The girl
have-
is
yeah.
measuring the circumference of your head as you.
Like I imagine like a little flashback of him with like a slingshot or some like knocking a pigeon off of a fence post, 50 feet away or some dumb crap. But showing that he's got good hunt abilities.
Great. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Over the course of that, my manner will change from being particularly icy to being very pleased, actually.
And then is there more conversation? Sorry, I didn't want to skip to the end of.
Yeah, if there's anything else that people want to interact with Eckerd about.
No.
Well,
mechanically,
while we're here, I would also like to indulge Vice.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, let's get that roll for Varric and for you.
Yeah.
Yes. So what does your indulging look like, girl? As
So we're sort of in this new establishment. It's a very particular establishment, and I am looking around for curious people, interesting characters.
Yeah. There is I'll give you a couple options. There is a woman who is clearly quite rich and who, when she sits down, she is extremely particular about everything she touches. The people lay down the silverware and she moves every piece of silverware to her own place that she wants it. And then, like, when the plate comes, she rearranges everything on the plate to be exactly how she wants it. And in conversation, she'll sort of like stop people and say, and like sort of correct them and sort of move on. So that's one person. Another person is this very magnanimous man who is like, everyone he sees, he embraces, 2 kisses on the cheek. Oh, how are you? Oh, so good to see you. Like smacking them around. But it's just like, you know, and sort of life of the party. He runs his fingers on the table as he's talking to people and said, you know, sort of constantly engaging people in conversation. Very gregarious. Is there a third type of person who you would want to have seen there hypothetically?
I love that first woman.
Great. Cool.
So as the dinner progresses, people around the table might start noticing that the girl is sort of like picking up these very like specific, like the food she eats in a clockwise manner, like around the plate very intentionally, like each piece of broccoli must be exactly, and like if a little bit of broccoli falls off, it's like picked up exactly right with her tiny little fork. And as they talk more and more, she starts sort of interrupting people around the table. If their pronunciation seems wrong, not the correct posh Queen's English, she's going to correct them on their pronunciation, and so on as the night progresses.
I'm just like fielding it, like not even commenting, but also just watching her being like, the fuck?
Great. So go ahead and roll your. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say she sort of takes one of Hix's hairs, and if you could put it back into the ponytail, it's slipping out.
Don't.
All right. So I am rolling. Sorry. What do I roll?
You roll your lowest attribute, so the amount of first dots.
Thank you.
Yep.
1.
Oh no!
It was actually double ones, but I don't think that counts for anything.
Oh,
I mean, it would have had to be double ones. I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it doesn't make anything worse. Oh, that's the worst.
So what? Does anything happen?
You lose one stress.
Just one stress. Oh, y'all.
Yeah. Yikes. Yikes. What about Varric?
I was feeling bad about it, but now I feel much better. 3.
Oh no! So, if, however, girl, you wanted to use a liquid asset, you wanted to use a coin, you can get another Indulge action. Honestly, like, I know that we haven't really done this much, but I really think like using coin to do downtime actions can be quite valuable. Obviously, you might be saving it. I get it.
The problem right now is that we need that coin.
Yes.
We do.
I mean, I'm
okay.
We don't even have the rep. We don't need the coin for that right now. I was intending to spend some. This is why I like to remain liquid and not give my money to the company right away, is because I have intentions for my coins that the company cannot put their fingers on. This is kind of why, and this is mechanically like why I like to play Hix staying liquid, not just because it's fun to be poor all the time, but because when I recognize a direction that I wish to be flowing, I want to flow with all of the liquidity within me.
Yeah.
And therefore, with this long-term project to frame Melissa, I'm trying to obtain some assets and get that clock moving a little bit. So
yeah, cool.
So I mean, we'll make more coin. We're gonna steal this brooch, right? Yeah. I got to pitch it to someone who can steal stuff. You've
also got a free downtime action from the Orcus Tooth. You could go party with the maimed Leviathan hunters, girl, and get some and indulge vice with them.
So is that how that works? Like they can do actions that apply to our characters?
Yep.
They do.
Oh, do they? What does it say? No. I want it to be that. Okay.
They're gonna like throw her a birthday
rules.
Party.
I'm finding it, but
this is great. Yeah.
Acquire an asset, reduce heat, or work on a long-term project.
Gotcha. So they could work on one of Hix's long terms. Yeah.
We've got 4 coin in the
4 coin for the crew stash. Yeah.
I currently have 4.
I'm sure I'll spend a coin and
do another indulge.
Indulge vice. Maybe after this dinner, I don't need to talk that way. After this dinner, I'll go out somewhere. Maybe I'll see if any of the crew wants to do an after party.
After party with the same
What
people.
does this pitch look like? Talk about it meta if you want, but I'm not going unless she pitches about this party.
Don't you think it's a little stuffy in here?
Yes.
Do you need more of a pitch than that?
No. Let's go.
I like to think we leave Varric with the bell. I think that's a given.
Yeah, he loves it. This is like how he like feels better is by buying things, right?
Yes, luxury. To some degree.
Indulging in it.
Right.
Can we hold that action for? I mean, I was hoping to do some things and perhaps push myself and pick up a little stress in some other downtime
so
or
you'd
gather
want to
information
indulge at some other
stuff.
point. Sure.
So I would like to I mean, is that too meta?
No, that's great. Here's my thought. Let's take a break because we're a little bit past our break mark. And then we'll come back and jump back into some downtime action, sort of timed however we want.
Sounds great.
Cool. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you all very soon.
Certainly.
Hello, and welcome back to the Contraband. I raise my glass to you.
I was like, that's a very dramatic hand. Oh, got it.
I mean, it was just a dramatic hand, and now I made it what it was. All right, so welcome back. We are returning from our break. Everyone is in the midst of sort of whirlwind, preparing for a party, also trying to get the cops off of them. It's a complicated time of life being a criminal. So let's jump into some downtime actions. What are people up to? So we were going to go to a party. Did you want to do your acquire asset before that, Ben, as sort of a quote unquote flashback? Not.
Yes, I do. Yes,
Great.
I do. I would like to. Well, the asset that I'm acquiring is the information about Lissa, her interests. What sort of
job
thing that would really, really entice her.
Yeah, cool. This is probably more counts in the long-term project because it's just a clock of getting info on her.
Okay, great.
So yeah. How do you want to go about getting information? You want to talk to Pascal? Or try to?
No, I don't want to talk to Pascal. I want to ignore him until I give him this gang. That's what I want to do.
I love it.
I don't mean to tip my hand to the viewer at home, but that is what I want to do.
I love it. Amazing. So good.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's time to go see Ekon.
Nice. Yeah.
Because I think that Ekon, as one of the higher up lieutenants of the Red Sashes, would perhaps have some information on Lissa.
Great.
Also, I mean, Ekon and I haven't spoken since
since
the
some drama.
Orcus Tooth job drama and
yeah.
that kid trying to flex on me.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, so you head to Six Towers. In Six Towers, there's a gang called the Red Sashes. They're an Alkebulani gang, so all of them are from sort of the African equivalent in this world, which is an Africa never colonized and with a great deal more literacy than Duskwall and other places, as well as technological developments, etc. But these guys are criminals from Alkebulan. They belonged to an elite sword fighting school in Alkebulan and now are drug dealers and a gang in sort of controlling most of Silkshore. So Ekon is one of their leaders who hangs out at the Guayav. Yeah.
Cool. I mean, I feel like I would just try to catch him at the Guayav.
Yeah, great. Yeah, you end up there and he eventually, like, you show up, he sees you, and normally he would like immediately send his guys away. He looks uncertainly at you, uncertain if you're there to meet him, and after a couple minutes seems to decide that you must be here to see him. He sends his guys away, and then he walks over.
Before,
Oh, great, yeah.
Since he doesn't do it right away, I'll go ahead and get a table and sit down where I can see him.
Great, yeah.
And I'll enjoy a meal.
Great. Yeah, and quickly enough, like before your meal comes, he comes over and sits down at the table with you and says, "Hello, Mr. Templeton."
Hello, Ekon. I wasn't sure if you'd see me.
Yes, I spotted you. Yeah.
I just remember that there were perhaps some bad feelings between us and the Red Sashes because of what happened.
Hix, I hope that you see me as an intelligent man. I know that Izyoke's death was more a result of their recklessness than of your. You did not send her to that intentionally. I know Ajani is young and was angry. Of course, it's led to some complications. I've had to downplay my friendship with you to Milandu and the other leaders of the Red Sashes, but there is no love lost between us. Duskwall is a harsh city.
I'm very happy to hear you say that, Ekon. Thank you. I'm much relieved. I don't want to put you in a bad situation. I do have something to offer you, however. I'm intending to send Lissa to Ironhook prison. I have a contact in the police who I can hand her to. And I think that the crows would be much easier to keep an eye on and control if Pascal were the leader. I think that would be good for your organization. So what I'm looking for, the reason that I came here, is I'm wondering if you have some information on her interests currently. What sorts of things is she reaching out to? Can you help me get a bigger picture of who she is?
Hix, I love that you come to me and say, I am sending Lissa to Iron Hook Prison, as if you say, I am sending the king to the moon. You are an ambitious man. It surprises me. Go ahead and roll a consort with him.
Great, I'll push myself.
Cool.
And I rolled a 6.
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
I love you.
Ekon says, we have been paying attention to Lissa ever since the end of the fight with the Lampblacks. Right now, she's of course looking to expand her territory, and she wants footholds in other places. She wants footholds here. She wants footholds not only here, but in the docks, but also Six Towers, which is, I think, a bit beyond her reach, especially given the new gang rising there. I don't know if you've encountered them much. But
I try not to encounter gangs as often as I can.
Yes, you've become quieter on that score. There are certain businesses that I think, and certain types of businesses that she's courting, places that could not only pay her for protection, but from whom she could also obtain goods that would be useful, steel, gunpowder. So I'll give you a list of them. Does that sound helpful?
Well, I'll do you one better, Ekon. If the silk sashes, if the red sashes can give us a business front, we can populate it with appropriate set dressing and personnel to con Lissa into thinking that they are a new business that it is trying to get the Raven's protection. If you have a building that we could use, then we can make it look like a business seeking protection from her.
We have it. It will take a little bit of work to get it fixed up, get it ready. I'll need some help from your friends. So you'll need to do the acquire asset roll on it. But
great.
This sounds quite interesting and a bit theatrical.
Wonderful. That I do love theatrics.
It is good to see you again.
It is good to see you, Ekon. Thank you.
All right.
Cool.
Anything else with him? Yeah.
Nope.
Awesome.
Great. So I'm going to move that clock.
Yeah, let's move that
places.
three forward. Yep.
All right.
Awesome. And then, any other? So I know there's the Indulge Vice, the double that's going to happen. Was there anything from Bram? Have you done your downtime?
Yeah, I'm all done with downtime.
Okay.
Great. We can indulge that vice now that I picked up some stress. Sorry for that meta.
Oh, no, that's great. Yeah, so you guys can both roll Indulge Vice and then tell us how the night went.
Great. Okay, I rolled a 4. And I will use my special ability to take that down to a 5.
Nice. And that means,
take
Kristen,
it up to a 5, yeah.
You can also increase or decrease the amount of stress by 2.
By 2. Okay, so I rolled a 2. So I can just hit it up to 4 then?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Starting with Hix has
Pays a party with Hix.
Yeah, baby. That is so perft too.
Oh, I love it.
It really is.
Yes, that's wonderful. The fact that you could knock out friggin' 8 stress. Oh my gosh, that's still.
It's just amazing. It keeps me operating on a high level.
Yep, I love
and
it.
it's just Hix being like, "How are you? How are you really? Tell me. Let me hold space for you. Talk it through." Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So any like flavor of how that evening may have gone?
I mean, I think I'm going to find one of Hix's maybe one of Hix's wilder friends and just tail them sort of silently for a while. And then once I sort of get the hang of it, I'm loud and brash and obnoxious.
Yeah, I was going to say, do the words disaster lesbian work?
Oh, sure.
As a prompt?
Is this an attachment to a particular one of Hix's friends, or is this just something you would like to apply to me?
Huh.
I think the former.
Do tell, Ted.
Definitely the former. But yeah, there's a like a cab driver druggie who is this like big, like strong jawed, muscly, big trans woman who he hangs out with. She's fantastic and loud and a great singer.
And we go out to primetime, of course, and sing and dance all night.
By the end, me and what's her name?
I don't know if I named her. Well, I feel like I did way back in the day. I'll have to find.
What's your name, love? What's your name? Like shouting over the noise.
Yeah, maybe she goes by Love. Like that's her nickname. Yeah.
Love, that's brilliant. It's brilliant. And then we sing through the night.
Yes, amazing. Fantastic.
Great.
I love it. I love it. All right. Any other downtime actions? All right.
Nada.
So let's maybe get the scene with Valerie and then like transition that into our arrival at the party.
Great. I think it could even happen pretty quick before the party.
Sure.
So
Great.
I need to figure out my way in. So I will go to the house in Six Tower and sort of towards the evening and hope that her light is on and scale the tree next to her window that I know so well.
Cool. Yeah. So the Cleons, I believe though Hannah Cleon is the assemblywoman from Six Towers, I believe her mansion is in Brightstone because, she doesn't live where she works, of course. She's not that kind of politician. Yeah. But I think we don't need a prowl roll. You know the tree. You know how to get up. So yeah, there's the normal way up to this bedroom. You knock. It's this beautiful white mansion. It's very tall. It's sort of a nouveau style of estate. Like the last 50 years, it became very fashionable. It's about 5 stories. It extends out back into the canal, so there are like boat entrances in the back. But yeah, the window just like brings this golden light. There's this wonderful tall room, painted lilies and flowers all over the walls. And inside you see a girl trying on a gorgeous dress wearing a yellow mask.
I'll slip in through the window quietly, walk up behind her and just say, "Hey, sister."
Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, my goodness. Oh, you gave me a heart attack. Oh, and then like a servant knocks and says, "Lady Cleon, is something the matter?" She says, No, it's all right. I stabbed myself with a pin. Everything's all right. She turns and says, "Oh." And like gives you this huge hug and just like so excited to see you, shouting in enthusiasm, and says, "Oh my goodness, it's so good to see you, Bella. It's so good to see you. How long it's been. How are you?"
It's excellent to see you as well. I like your mask. You're going to the ball tonight.
We went through about 4 iterations with the mask maker. It really, it's never gotten exactly what I wanted. But is it terrible? Is it just so terribly simple to you? What do you think?
Not at all. I think the yellow color. It's it's very sunshiny, isn't it, Valerie?
Yes. The hyacinths I thought were the right. They're a little droopy. The little droopy is, I think, the problem. But thank you. I shouldn't complain about it. Oh, it's so good to see you.
I'll take her hand and sort of lead her to the bed, and we'll sit down.
Yes.
Sister, dearest sister, am I right in thinking you maybe haven't procured a date for tonight?
Don't bring it up unless. Wait.
Do
you mean you want to come?
I would love to come.
Oh, absolutely. What are you? You're not wearing that, are you?
Oh, no. I have an outfit. It's actually in my bag here.
Oh, wonderful. And we'll get you, and you get dressed in lots. We can cut from that moment to the approach to Felmoor Manor. So there are two ways to approach, both by carriage or by boat. So the groups are Jamie and Bram are going with Kyrol, and then Hix is going with someone, and Eckerd is going with someone. So by which method do you all arrive?
I think
Boat or by
Valerie and
carriage?
I would take carriage. Yes.
Great. Okay.
6 white horses.
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
I
I guess
think,
Bram will just meet up at Kyrol's place and perhaps bum a carriage with him.
I think we would all be there at Kyrol's. I think he also is presumably rich enough to have horses.
He is, but the thing is, as Kyrol tells you when you arrive, I hope you gentlemen are all right with boats. You think all the merchants are taking boats there. It's sort of symbolic. So if I come by carriage, it will look quite tacky.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I'm very comfortable in a boat. Thank you.
Yes,
We
good.
have
Wonderful.
lots of experience in boats.
Yes, Mr. Borden, I'm so glad that you were able to come with me. Just such a delight to have you.
The pleasure's all mine.
So you guys get into this very fancy boat. There's 3 servants piloting the boat, even though it only needs 1 person. It like heads out along the coastline, and you approach Felmoor Manor. What about Hix? You don't have.
I mean,
to
am I secure in our transportation? I guess it
I
sounds
suppose
like.
so. Yeah.
I mean,
so.
I suppose I'd have Tormas drive us out there. He'd probably do
Amazing.
it. I could
Yeah.
probably get him to put on I'll bring him some clothes and maybe
he puts on a bowler hat.
boutonniere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, want him to look nice.
Yeah, yeah. And there's a point where he helps your date step up into the car and nods at the lady very thoughtfully, and he says, "You sure you don't need a butler in there or anything, do you?" Like sort of as a request.
I was like, I mean, Tormas, if I can get you in, then I will. I promise. Let's just have you walk up, and if they turn you away, then
Yeah, and he says, "Well, only if you need me, That's
I
all."
don't know, man. Do you want to come into this party? Do you have a mask?
Well, yeah. And he
You
pulls
made
out,
one?
he pulls out a mask.
What's Tormas's mask like? I gotta know.
Tormas's mask is a couple of browned leaves off of a tree that have sort of been pasted onto a thing. It's supposed to be autumnal, but it looks sort of like dog shit. But yeah.
I mean, perhaps by one way of looking at it, but certainly not definitively. That's not what I thought. I mean, yeah, let's try to get you in this party. Let's try to.
Right.
Why not?
So you join the current in this, pretty tattered little carriage, you guys, and you're heading alongside other beautiful carriages. At one point, you look to the side and see this gorgeous white carriage drawn by 5 horses, and you see a form inside that, for a second, looks like the girl, but it's obviously not. I mean, she looks far too decked out. No way it could possibly be that. Do you have a thought, not Aldo, Carson, on how Eckerd's rival, or do you want me to? Provide
No,
it?
I think Eckerd's hired basically a modest carriage that takes him there. It's a taxi,
Yeah, sure, yeah, equivalent.
Yeah.
So you all enter. So first, Bram and Varric and Kyrol, you come far enough north that you're far away from the trash-filled canals of Crowsfoot and Coleridge. You're in the canals that are clean and well-kept near the well-lit streets of Brightstone. Even the canals are lit, which in the other districts would just illuminate the floating corpses and garbage.
And ruin our business model.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. There's there are noble folk in droves passing over the well-lit streets. Everyone is celebrating. There's fireworks going off everywhere for the solstice. but then you're past the canals and you're out in open water. You know, it's a little bit like being on an ocean, which you maybe never have done. But there's beautiful estates, and on this coast, on the northern edge of it, it's not like neighborhoods. It's like these huge estates surrounded by land. It's just so much space. It's wild. You smell the void sea from here, even through the lightning wall. There's seabirds cawing overhead, and you come around a rocky outcropping of stone, so large and so devoid of architecture that for a moment you feel as if you're outside the city, and then you see Felmoor Manor. Felmoor Manor lies in a stony outcropping racked by cold winds. Its grounds are illustrious and well kept, with a labyrinthine hedge maze at its front and a marbled statue garden at the water's edge. And you arrive at the docks below, and there are valets who are like, oh, well, the servants of Kyrol will park the boat, but there are other valets coming on when people are piloting their own boats. And Kyrol is nodding and saying hello to like dozens of people. I mean, he's been calling out to all of them and saying, you know, Lord Forthrasto, so good to see you, and all these different people, just like so many folks. And you get off of these stone steps, walk up, and then like walk towards the estate where you see carriages coming. Girl and Valerie, you come, and Valerie just clutches your hand and said, "Oh, are you so excited? Is there anyone that you're hoping to dance with tonight?"
Oh, I'm just thrilled. Perhaps, and I'll name a couple noble
Great.
women
Okay.
that we both know.
Can we
Great.
Can we flash back here?
Heck, yes.
This is just me in preparation for the party.
Yeah.
I say to the girl, Thurgood Rathsbane is going to give a very pricely piece of jewelry to a woman named Juliana Felmoor, and she doesn't want it, and it's not going to look good for him. Just, I don't know, a little bit of scuttlebutt I picked up from You'll Never Guess. But you'll never guess, and I'm never going to tell you.
It's not Varric?
Amazing. I've also sent all of you and posted on the Twitter earlier today the map of Felmoor Manor and the estate. So I thought the Twitter was an interesting place for if anyone's like, oh, I want to look at this as well. So you can see the map of things as they are constituted. So yeah, for your use and edification. Yeah. Any other? So yeah, you're all arriving. The house itself is a vast 4-story affair illuminated with hundreds of lights. The first 2 floors will be accessible to guests this evening. There are carriages pouring into all the entrances. As you step up, Bram and Varric, a young and enthusiastic butler greets you, wearing dark livery inscribed with the wave-like symbol of House Felmoor. He says, "Oh yes, please give the names of those in whose name you are invited. We will not, of course, spoil the anonymity of the game by forcing you to remove your masks or identify yourselves personally."
So he's asking us?
Yep. Yeah,
Isn't this where Kyrol would speak up?
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, sure. Kyrol says, "I am here on behalf of Kyrol Fairwind." And these 2 guests, I believe, also come on his behalf.
Yes.
So,
Yes, we come on behalf of Kyrol Fairwind.
Yeah.
amazing. Yep. And the butler says, and then the same thing happens with Valerie, and she says, "Oh, I can't. We're here with Hannah, the Cleon family, with Hannah Cleon," and. Another carriage pulls up, and an imperious woman with her hair pulled tight into a braid with a beautiful mask comes up and says, "Yes, with Hannah Cleon. She doesn't see you, girl, or interact with you."
I try and keep it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and she strides past the butler before he can give any indication of success. Meanwhile, Eckerd meets up with Hix and Guest because he has the person who's going to make sure that Hix gets in. So Eckerd shows up.
Wearing, yes, I think you'll notice he's in sort of a dusty old military outfit. Is this a place where people carry pistols?
No.
Openly? Okay, great. That's fine.
No, but they
Just
would bring.
checking.
Sure. Yeah, but they would. There are people in uniform. You're not the only one.
All right, great. And arrives and says, "You ready?" And we'll walk them up to the front gate.
Great. And whose behalf are you here? Says the butler.
Yes, I'm here at the behest of Lillian Colt.
Ah, the Brigadier General. Yes, come on in.
Of course. And these.
Yep. So let's get the fashion show. What is everyone looking like? What do your clothes look like? What are your masks? The theme of this event is sort of seasons, natural patterns. It's pretty broad, but yeah. What's everybody's looking like, and what do their masks look like?
I'll speak for my date first.
Sure.
My date is a strong-looking woman who is wearing a mask with the phases of the moon depicted going across the top.
Yes. Yeah. Very strong. Somewhat darker skinned, but holds herself with a great deal of grace. Wearing a nice dress. Yeah.
Great.
Cool.
And my mask looks like a flower, but a flower that is as suggestive of genitalia as tastefully possible.
I was like, oh, suggestive. Oh no, they're going in a different direction. Oh, back there.
Yeah, like it's obviously a
things with the
flower.
dongles? Yeah.
But if you have sort of a dirty mind, then you see what you
The
want to see.
stamen is pronounced.
Yeah.
Yes, very pronounced.
I mean, it is perhaps not. I mean, and nuanced. I mean, not just phallic, but superbly yonic as well. It's like whatever
George
that looks
O'Keeffe.
like to you, fair viewer.
Yes, indeed. Let
But
your imaginations run wild.
Tastefully so.
Yes. Share in the chat. Actually, maybe don't.
Describe it.
Get us.
Don't get too excited. Amazing. Next to Hix and his date is Eckerd.
Yes, I think there would not be enough time to change the mask around, so I think he's wearing what was sort of Aldo's input.
Aldo's mask. Sure.
Which is like a nest of small eggs, and on top what appears to be basically a model of Merrick, the Tycherosi pigeon. So it's like a few birds, a few eggs. Some have hatched, and there's little birdlings, and then there's like a Merrick, the pigeon on the top, with his tail feathers are the front of the mask.
Wow!
Oh my gosh.
Wow! And Aldo made this.
I think he had a lot of input. I'd assume that the girl and Aldo spent some time.
Hix like gets choked up when he sees it. Just thinking of Aldo.
Yes, of course, it was a great friend. Great. Then, what does the girl's mask look like?
So the girl's first, her dress is long and full of hoop skirts.
Yes.
And one of those dresses that isn't, it's truly silver. Like many silver dresses look gray, but this is truly silver. Her mask is full of like clouds, and there's a moon and there's lightning. It looks like a storm across her face, but all the clouds are set like slightly up away from the mask itself. Each cloud has a little chain, and she can put her fingers into the chains and draw it back, and as she draws it back, the clouds and the storm clears and like drapes around her face, so the clouds and the lightning bolt are like jewels hanging about her face, and what lies underneath is just a mirror. And as you look at it, you'll see your own face, and then she can kind of draw the clouds back over.
Oh my god.
That was fun.
That's a good mask. That's a great mask.
Amazing. Yeah, I love it. Kyrol's mask, in an act of pretty debased self-promotion, is a model of his ship, the Dyax.
The Dyax.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. I love the Dyax. So it's a model of it with sails and everything. And someone asked... Yeah, good.
Inspired choice, Kyrol. Really.
Says, yeah,
I mean, it's
that's
a
also-
very apt choice for a mask, Kyrol. You wear this mask normally. Hix might say to him, you didn't even wear a mask today. You usually front with this. Sorry.
I can't tell what you mean, but yes, thank you. It's
Right.
it took some time to put together, not for myself, of course.
It's
yours
so
is
funny.
yours is quite tasteful. Yes.
Indeed.
Amazing. All right, so Varric and Bram, what are your masks?
So Bram's mask is just shaped. There's kind of a headdress
Yeah.
or hood that goes with it, but
Yeah.
the face looks like a marble statue with big cracks and chips out of it, like some kind of ancient artifact. And
Very
it's
cool.
actually just the top part of this outfit that kind of begins like he's got like tribal styled sandals, and they come up to like this really great skirt with like luscious greenery as a girdle, like maybe calling to mind the hanging gardens that once existed in the heyday of some
Yes.
civilization.
Severosi, yeah, the Severosi sort of equivalent of Babylon, yeah.
And then as they get higher, or as the outfit goes higher, it becomes more like worn, and then it's like kind of maybe there's like an ornate mantle that becomes kind of brittle, and then so it's supposed to be like the progression of
Okay.
civilization.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh.
Ah.
Ooh. He's in sandals?
Yeah.
Oh,
Heck
good.
yeah. Yeah, come on.
Good.
Gotta get those calves out.
And Varric.
Yeah, Varric is also actually a bit of a progression. He's got a mahogany suit on with a sort of gnarled, dried tree branch kind of cane. And then as you move further up, the jacket has an inner lining that is sort of oranges, yellows, and reds of fire, and he's got a half cape around one shoulder that looks like a flaming cape. And then his mask, he's got a kind of a band around him that's sort of gnarled branches, but the mask itself is a flaming bird, a sort of half mask covering the top half of his
Sure,
face.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's
Oh, beauteous. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Yeah, quite elaborate. Fantastic. Yeah, so you all step into the house, and the smell of candles and burning rosewood and rich meats and perfumes and colognes fill your nostrils. You can hear the butler saying, "We wish you a prosperous and delightful solstice. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Felmoor Manor." You feel the marble beneath your feet as you step into the ballroom. Music fills your ears. It's a waltz, the dusk air flowing by Talgathin, which Bram would certainly know. A band, others as well. A band of 12 musicians plays on the stage, and men and women soar past you in elegant dress. 100 people are dancing on the floor, wearing an explosive variety of masks. There are more than 350 people here tonight at this event. It is full to the brim. Now, we're going to flash back, just for the fun of this, to a meeting that you all had with Kyrol, where he says, "Your contact is cautious. They have told me that they need both assurance of your subtlety and your skill. As such, they have selected 4 individuals who will evaluate you. I have no idea how this evaluation will take place, but I have been told that they will all be wearing masks of autumn and will be seeking help with some sort of task." So, the beginning of this score is an 8-part clock to find your contacts within this vast array of people.
Fun.
Okay.
But you are welcome to pursue whatever you would like at the party. There are many. It's going to be probably 5 to 6 hours, and you could probably stretch to 7 if you're staying till the very, very end. Yeah.
Is there any kind of itinerary for the night, or is it just?
It's pretty
is there a
open.
toast at some point? I mean, that we would know, I guess.
Yeah. Yes. There is
some
a
kind of
toast.
some kind of toast or schedule. Okay,
Yeah, there's a
that's fine.
toast in 2 hours. Food won't. So there'll be appetizers served for the first hour.
That's what I needed. Yeah.
Yeah, appetizers served for the first hour. They'll start serving the main course at that point, but the banquet hall will be available. There's a long table, but it'll be kind of a rotating thing because not everyone, they can't fit 350 people there. So you'll kind of come in, you'll grab your food and eat at different places. They'll seat you at different points. So basically, however you want to manage your food experience, you do. But they'll only serve the main course for 2 hours, and then after that, it'll be desserts for the rest of the night. I mean, no more main course at that point. So, what's everyone doing?
I am going to go to the Coatroom. Is there a
Fantastic.
servant working there?
Oh yes, it is. This place is like there are 6 servants working the coat room. It is just like a machine. They're like getting everyone's coats, putting them into spots. It's just like this huge, well-ordered thing. They give you a ticket for the end of the night, a little wooden thing with gold engraved onto it, indicating your number.
Yeah, I'm going to snap at one of them and say, "You come here."
Yes, sir," says the young woman.
Listen, I've lost track of my friends, and I was wondering if you'd seen them. They're wearing sort of fallen leaves mask, almost like autumn colors, reds and greens and browns, that sort of thing. We're part of a duo, as you can tell.
I see. The person's face blanches a little bit at being asked to identify a mask of a guest. But go ahead and make a command.
I'm going to command, yes.
Woo!
I'm not going to command her. It's a 1.
Ta-da! You are imperious. I mean, this person would like jump 10 feet in the air for you right now. But they're like, they look briefly at the token they're handing you, which is number 279. You're like, I'm not certain I could narrow it down, sir.
No.
So
if you see them, let me know.
I certainly will, sir.
Come find me.
Oh.
She hands you your token. We will add 1 tick in a clock, which will be a 6-part clock called Raising Eyebrows.
Oh boy.
So yeah, all right.
Flashback to Varric telling everyone, don't do anything to raise suspicion. Okay, that's an important thing. We have to fit in.
Yeah. And it's just a couple folks. There's like an old woman and her husband who go, "Oh my dear," as you like push past them to make this command. And nobody. It doesn't look like there's anybody scary, but you did make a tiny bit of a commotion. All right, what's next?
I
Would
think
like
Oh, you go.
I would like to turn to Valerie and just say, shall we take a turn about the room? So I'm doing I think I'm doing 3 things.
Okay.
1, I'm like walking around trying to find autumnal masks.
Yes.
2, I'm trying to avoid Hannah Cleon. And
Yes.
3, I'm also going to keep an eye on Juliana Felmoor and just see like if she's, receiving a brooch at any time,
Awesome.
just
Yes,
figuring out
yes.
when that happens.
I will aid
Yeah.
in that I'm also keeping an eye out for Juliana Felmoor and also, keeping an eye out for the girl.
Masks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and I think Ben, however you want to do this, but with your cool foresight ability, I think you could have done research and tried to contact the mask makers who might have made Juliana Felmoor's mask and learned what hers looked like. It is a full face white mask representing just like winter's chill, and so it has these flowing tails of ice coming out from them. Maybe a message to Thurgood Rathbane, perhaps.
Very great.
It's a lot of effort for Thurgood, Juliana, if you don't give him any regard at all.
I'm gonna roll survey.
Okay,
Yeah?
fantastic. Yep, so you'll get an extra die from Hix.
5.
Okay, fantastic. You are able to avoid. You are able to. Yeah, you're exploring. We're gonna put a tick into. No, it's 2 for 5. So 2 ticks into find the contacts, which is an 8-part clock. So I'll keep track of that. You guys don't have to unless you want to. So you're 1/4 of the way there. You see a bunch of autumnal masks of different kinds. You quickly start to narrow down that a lot of these are spring. Like spring is what most people are doing just because it's easy, because they get flowers, it's cheap. The autumnal ones are a little bit rarer because winter is also easy because it's white, and summer and autumn are sort of the rarer ones to find. So you're seeing a few. You pass by, a woman who's quite an excited-looking dancer dancing with a man who's got this autumnal mask. You think it's probably not her, and you see people up on the balcony who might have it. So you're narrowing it down slowly. Meanwhile, as this happens, you are stopped by a voice that says, "Valerie, you should make sure you drink something. You're going to faint." And then looks at you and says, "Bella."
Hi, Mother.
Been so long, I haven't seen you. Valerie didn't tell me that you were going to be here.
Oh, and I'm sure you hardly recognize my voice.
I am very proud of you to see you like this. This is a place of great station. Where are you at the moment? What are you pursuing?
Pursuing, I guess, business dealings, I think is what my friend Varric would call them.
Valerie says, "Varric Lohman?"
Oh, yes, of course. You know the Lomans. I associate with that crowd these days.
Hannah looks at you like someone emerged from the dead. She says, "My dear, I wish I had more time. I'm of course rather taken this evening, but we must find a time to speak again." And she grabs hold of your hand, or attempts to.
I'll let her, but it's that kind of like cold, clammy, like I don't want to be touching this person.
Yeah. She says, "Is it really you?"
Why? Are you scared I'm a ghost come to haunt you?
Well, I mean, we put so much effort into finding you. I just thought if all those had failed, it seemed impossible that we wouldn't see you, that's all. I know adopted orphans often go missing in Duskwall, but...
And I'll look her straight in the eye, and with as much venom as I can muster, I'll say, "You liar."
I'm sorry.
You utter liar.
Are you, I don't want to reduce this to mechanics. Are you attempting to get a reaction from her?
Yeah, I am. Would it be sway?
Sure. I mean, yeah.
And I will push myself.
Okay.
And what I want and what I always want is for her to admit what she's done to me.
Yes.
3.
Oh. She says, she like pulls back her hand, looks at you, and Valerie, you should be careful. There are people who might try to take advantage of you in this world. I am so sorry that the world has hurt you so much, despite all of our efforts to treat you so well. Best of luck to you. Oh, go ahead. You can get the last word.
So there's like the clouds and the lightning over my face, and I'll just take one of the chains and pull it back so that she can look directly at her own face, like in the mirror on mine.
Yeah. Yes.
And then I'll let her turn and stalk off.
Yes. Yeah, she disappears into the crowd. We'll get another tick on raising eyebrows.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. Ooh. Valerie looks at her mother and looks at you. But she doesn't leave yet. She's looking at you and kind of expectantly a little bit.
Did you want to meet up with Varric? I know what his mask is.
I'd like to spend time with you. Whether we see him or not, that's fine.
Do you want to dance?
Certainly. Should we seek out others to dance with, or are you wanting to dance with me?
I don't see why two sisters can't dance together.
We certainly can, yes. And you sort of leap into the waltz together, sort of into the current of this, oceanic form of dancers that has emerged, and lose yourselves temporarily in the music. We'll come back to you. Eckerd, did you have an action?
Yes, I think Eckerd will make his way up the stairs to sort of overlooking upon the ballroom from the balcony, just in an effort to locate these contacts.
Love it. Yeah.
Not sure who's up there or around, but I think he just kind of makes his way up.
I love it.
And,
I will aid.
Mhm.
For this score, I'm going to go with a normal loadout because that can look
Oh, yes.
light. Is
You
that
haven't
correct for
declared
us?
load. Yes, that is correct. Yeah, because the smuggler's rigging.
Right.
Yeah.
And I do have blueprints. That is one of my special spider equipments. So
true.
I will use my foresight ability to show Eckerd the blueprints
Wonderful.
and give another die in whatever role you're doing.
Sweet.
I think survey might be nice. There's this ability scout that when I gather info to locate a target with this effect, I get +1 effect, or if I
Very cool.
hide in prepared position or use camouflage, that's for detection. Very interesting.
Sure.
But otherwise,
Awesome.
1+ effect.
Cool.
So scanning the room, 6.
You are able to get a sense of some of these, some of these masks. You narrow down a few. You're going to get 3 ticks in looking for the thing. So you're at 5 out of 8 currently. Meanwhile, as that happens, someone comes up behind you, a very tall woman wearing a military uniform, decorated. I mean, it's just like draped in color. And she wears a brown mask like a bird's nest, complex webbing of woven twigs, and there's little bits of string strung through it that are the colors of the flag of Catalan. This is Lillian Colt.
Yes.
She says, Sergeant Coleburn, I presume.
What's her rank?
Brigadier.
Brigadier. Colt. Yes, you've guessed right.
Yes, I
Okay, bows
uniform.
slightly. In the customary style.
Yes, of course. She does the return and says, "Oh, no worries at all. I tried to keep an eye out for you. We of the illustrious 7th Squadron, you were not the one I expected this evening, but it is a
Oh.
pleasure."
Who were you expecting?
Well, it's a good question. You've put me on the spot. Your captain, Miss Aluminum. No, Tin.
Moira Tin.
Yes, Moira. I of course remember her. And there was the decorated field medic,
Aldo.
Bisan. Yes.
Basran. It's
Oh.
been quite a while, I
Well,
understand.
You know, a good brigadier general should have a perfect knowledge of names. I simply hope that my other attributes are sufficient to counteract my lack of memory. Forgive me.
Of course, and I hope that my presence here in place of my comrades is also counteracts the disappointment, perhaps.
Oh, not at
Attempt
all.
at comedy.
Yeah. She
Self-deprecation.
Yeah, she laughs. No. Of course, I am so glad to be able to make your acquaintance. However, briefly, I do not wish to take too much of your time. This is quite a delightful mask you have. You're a fan of pigeons?
I can't say it's mine exactly, but it is quite colorful. Yes.
Yes, indeed.
I think it's supposed to be one of those. Are there any Tycherosi birds, or is that out of fashion?
Oh no, they're here. Yeah, there's
Okay.
there's dozens of Tycherosi birds. These beautiful black birds, huge plumage. I mean, they're 3 times the size of a pigeon. There's no way you could possibly think that one was a pigeon was a Tycherosi bird. They've got these beautiful beaks. So macaws, if macaws went goth, that's what Tycherosi birds are.
Great. Yeah, I think it says.
I guess there are black macaws, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be one of these Tycherosi birds, but it's
It is
definitely a pigeon.
Yes, certainly a loose artistic representation. But that is the purpose of the evening, after all, isn't it? She drinks
Yes.
a little bit.
And your mask, it's curious.
It's supposed to be a subtle indicator of the time that I served, the Unity War.
I noticed the colors.
Yes, of course. Don't you miss it? I love that place and those people. Well, yeah. Well, it was a pleasure to see you.
Of course.
Yeah,
Thank you
sausage.
so much for inviting me. Appreciate it.
It was my pleasure. I'm so glad to be able to do something for men of the unit. Now I feel useless. There's so little for us to do. We had just trophies on the king's mantle.
Yes.
She grabs your hand firmly and walks away.
Okay. And he
Yeah. Is anyone with Eckerd to witness that, or would you like to have been there?
Bram's
Hix
up there
having
on the
a-
balcony. So yeah, maybe he'll just have noted it kind of quietly from a few feet away,
Cool.
and then I'll head out onto the balcony gardens.
Great. Yeah. What's your plan, Bram?
He doesn't quite have a plan. He's kind of taking in everything.
Yeah.
He's definitely, his mind is not on the score,
Yeah,
so to speak.
sure.
So he's kind of looking around, just analyzing the place. But yeah, I'm curious what I see out in the balcony gardens. Is there anyone spending time out there?
Oh yeah, there's a good amount of people. What's nice about the balcony gardens are beautiful and expansive. They've got lots of plants from different areas. This one has a great view of Brightstone and also of the Sapphire Palace from a distance. So there's tons of people on the northeast side of the house looking towards the view of the Sapphire Palace.
Okay.
If there are any demographics of people who you're interested in gravitating towards, be they academics or royals or anything, let me know.
Well, as he's strolling along the balcony, maybe he realizes what he's actually looking for, which is Princess Livia.
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 Sure.
And yeah, the thought dawns on him as he is looking. Oh, I suppose that's what I'm looking for.
Cool.
Should I do a survey or a study?
Yeah. Anything that you want to, the action you feel is appropriate and just however you think it's appropriate.
I'm going to use hunt. There's something.
Yeah.
There's something
Yeah. Yes.
desperate about the way he's looking.
I love it.
Okay, it's a 6.
We're going to start a clock, 6-part clock called The Princess. And you're going to fill 3 slots on it. So you're halfway there.
I hope she's not
Yeah.
in another manor.
You said there's a 6-part clock?
6-part, so you're halfway there. Yeah. Yeah. So I think in terms of your search, you go through a lot of people, and you it's amazing how quickly you're able to sort of start identifying class among these folks. Like you feel yourself very quickly getting a sense of, oh, these people are supremely wealthy. These people are just below them. They're a little bit louder. They're a little bit gaudier. These people, and you just sort of start codifying people and start trying to narrow them down. I think that's part of that's your success here so far. I'll just throw out, because this is fun, you could flash back and have something happen if you wanted.
Do you mean like before this I sent her a letter or something?
I don't know. Like if you send letters to the princess. I don't know.
No, I don't think he would do that.
Yeah, that'd be great. Cool. So,
can I move upstairs to the trophy gallery?
Yes, certainly. Yeah.
And
you're looking for folks up there, yeah?
Yeah, looking specifically for people in autumnal masks, but also wanting to take a gauge of the people who are in the trophy room.
Sure.
Kind of see. Yeah. And so I will survey. No, I won't. I'll study. If that's all right.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
No!
1 and 2. All right.
A 2?
Oh, gee.
Okay.
I'm in my element.
Yeah. As you're walking up the stair, maybe there's this. I wonder if there's a little bit of like fear that comes over Varric. Like there's this I don't know. What do you think?
No, I think right before walking into the manor, he kind of stopped and looked at it for a second. It was kind of like, I wasn't actually sure I'd be able to make it back here. It's been something he's been building up to for a while, but he hasn't really entertained the notion of like, oh, if I am re-entering into this world again, like I have to be in it, and it's kind of throwing him off. Yeah. Yes,
absolutely. Yeah. So you're walking up and like seeing people some of whom like you think you recognize, but it's also this mixture of like, every time you see a tall, a very tall, sort of imposing man with a simple kind of unimaginative mask, you think, is that my father? You pass all these people and start wondering, and women with tall hair and sort of elaborate, interesting masks, but very quiet. You wonder, is that my mother? You're like, all of these people just sort of start taking on these sort of phantom elements to you. And as you're walking up the stairs, you slam shoulders into someone, and there's a serious apology from this person. Oh, I'm so sorry to have run into you. Nothing's dropped on either side, but you pass on. And as you look back, you see the woman's wearing a half mask, and her right cheek is covered in scars. You get the sense that this might be the inspector who's been following Hix. So you get 2 ticks into raising eyebrows. So you're now 4 out of 6. But it's like you only see her after she's gone all the way down, and it's like in the balcony. You don't even know if she saw you. She doesn't look back and look at you, but you identify her.
I am going to go and look for Hix.
You find me.
Hix, you having a good time?
Yeah, lovely time. How are you doing? You look stressed out. How are you?
It's just this image is coming to the surface. This is really nothing important.
Okay.
You mentioned a woman at some point, right? The scarred face who's been.
Yeah.
I believe she's here.
Oh, okay.
Is this? Do we need to abandon ship and run? Because I'm unprepared.
No. It's cool. Actually, my date is my bodyguard. She's my fucking muscle. So we're probably good. I mean, between her and Bram, and inspectors they're not gonna move on us now. We got this. How's it going? You finding any masks? The honor ones?
I thought I saw someone here. I was able to convince servants to point me in the right direction, but they had a terrible memory and lost track of them in the rain. And then I was on my way up to the trophy room when I ran into this woman. So no luck as of yet. But
You'll be all right.
on the other, yeah, and I haven't run into any family members yet. So overall, I'd say it's very positive.
And you know what? If you do, then you do. You can handle it. Clap him on the shoulders, and then I'll go dancing away with my date.
Amazing. And you, Varric, you see the date, but you're like bodyguard, like who on earth would he have hired? And you're just like, no idea. It's like this glamorous woman. Like, I mean, she's dancing with she got big old freaking biceps. This woman is stacked, but like.
Love a woman who takes control.
Yeah, and then with 115-pound Hix.
Good for you, Hix.
You carry it around. Great. Who's acting next? What does the girl do post this dance with Valerie? I'm interested.
I mean, I think I'm still sort of trying to keep an eye on our young hostess, Juliana.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of orienting around, trying to find her. So I'll scope out the rooms. I'll and probably eat some appetizers.
Heck yes. All right.
Yeah. I'll have met up the girl there.
Cool.
Mostly because I'm drinking.
Great. Yeah, you guys are both down at the bars at the far north end of the dance hall. There's some drinks and some appetizers there being served.
The mask fits you well.
I appreciate that. I think it's a little much, honestly, for me personally.
Well, at least it physically fits you well. I didn't say anything about it sort of thematically, but I did adjust it.
And very fine work. I'm sorry. You seem to have a lot of yes. He's just it's clear he's not. I mean, he's mingling, but there's some when the social cues are broken down, he's like, whoops. Anyway, so he's drinking.
Great.
Anyway, lots of masks. Takes another drink. And he points to her. There's one. Maybe I shouldn't be pointing.
How are you feeling? Are you not a fan of masks or?
Oh no. It's honestly it's been a while since I've been out in society, I guess, and like this, it's and he kind of gives a bit of a smile and a bit of a cheer.
Cheers, and clink. I'll take a drink too.
Puts one down and grabs another.
Valerie says, "Who is your friend, Bella? Hello, it's nice to meet you. I'm Valerie." Yes. Oh, I shouldn't be saying my name. Oh my goodness, I'm so stupid. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
I've already forgotten it.
Yes,
madam.
yes, yes, madam. That's my name. Yes, and
yes.
I just messed up the
Madam.
hyacinths.
Yes.
Oh goodness gracious.
Oh, well, I'm I don't know. Looks to the girl. Suppose a friend.
A friend,
without-
of course.
Yes, giving too much away, of course, beats the purpose of the masked ball.
Are you a Leviathan hunter? You look very haggard. I mean, weathered.
No.
You have lots of experience as well as I mean.
Yes. No, it's and referring to his uniform is actually a little loose on him.
Yes.
Definitely a little loose and dusty. It's an old uniform. I haven't worn it in some time. I served during the Unity War.
Yes, the
some time
Unity
ago.
War,
Yes.
I see. Well, cheers to Cheers to the saving of Catalan, I suppose.
Cheers. Clink.
Bella, have you seen Kyrol Fairwind at all?
Oh, I think I do know what his mask looks like too, because I know who he was associating with and who he walked in with.
That's perfect. I was just hoping if we could get into a place where he might ask one of us to dance, you know.
Oh, jeez. Perhaps he should ask you to dance.
I mean, it could be either of us. You know, I don't mean to hog all the men.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm sorry. I know you prefer.
Sure. No. Let's find Kyrol.
I could,
do you want to
ask
come?
you to dance? I'm sorry.
She sets down her glass and says, "Thank you." Shall we?
Oh, yes. Yes.
I think a finesse would be most appropriate.
Yep. And I'm taking 2 stress to give myself 1.
Oh.
Okay, and it's a 1.
How does it happen?
Oh gosh. It's the classic first step right onto her foot. With like a big stomp.
Yes.
You know, I don't know how long it's been, but there's enough inside, and he forgot. So it's just right onto her foot.
Yeah.
First thing, pretty hard.
And I think mixed with it is you catch some of her hem and you hear
Oh,
a rip.
yep, absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
Eckerd.
Yeah, she steps back from it, and I still have the hem.
Yes, yeah, and so like there's this big old gash.
So, I'm so sorry. They don't. Oh, shit.
I can sew it. Needle and thread. I always keep some.
You have.
Come over this way, love. And
You sure?
I'll sort of be leading Valerie to somewhere a little more discreet. Perhaps the coat room. I go to the coat room and I.
Right. Yeah. You take her off. She like tries to hide her face a little bit and then realizes, oh, I'm masked. I'm wearing a mask. But yeah. So we'll just add one more to the raising eyebrows.
And he goes back over to the bar and grabs another.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh no, Eckerd.
I'd say Varric is also there. Like, he's gonna look over at your mask, Eckerd, and go, "It's a nice pigeon you've got there."
It's
Oh.
so bad. I don't know what to say. It's like a rosy bird.
No, it's not. It's just something nice a friend did.
Said Aldo did that for you.
Yes, I was making rather a fool of myself, and he stepped in to make me look a little less idiotic.
Yes, he does. Well, he can be quite, I don't know, caring, the medic in him, I suppose. Always trying to fix something, yeah?
Yeah. I hope whatever it is between you two, that you can get past it.
So do I. And he's gonna just take a drink and kind of walk away. It's all very overwhelming.
Let's really quick, Kristen. You were making sort of a survey and attempting to look for it. Let's make a roll on that to see, just because I don't want to steal that from you because you were actively searching. So it could be survey, study, whatever you prefer. You can also search with consort. You can talk to people as you prefer.
I prefer survey. 6.
Oh, all right.
Finally.
The clock is filled. So, I'm going to, so I'm going to basically give you a few people who you run into and sort of hint them at you. And this will actually, we'll sort of give this as the conclusion of tonight. So I'll tell you who the people are, and you will decide who is meeting all of them individually. So the first one you meet is there's a woman in a mask, a beautiful wreath of gold and bronze leaves. You actually saw her dancing earlier very excitedly. And at one point, she just comes up to one of you and says, "Would you like to dance with me? There are simply no romantics anymore. It's so depressing, isn't it?" So that's the invitation she gives. There's another, a person in a mask that looks like a pond whose edges are frozen over with frost. This is a servant girl who approaches probably the girl and says, "Pardon, things are busy in the kitchen. I'd like you to maybe obtain something for me if you can." And she looks towards who you just identified, Thurgood Rathsbane, and the brooch that he is carrying in his hands. You then, maybe Graham runs into this person, but we'll see. There's a bespectacled, smirking diplomat who says, who's like talking with a group of people, and he calls one of you over and says, You, sir, I need your help solving a complicated diplomatic problem. And then the final one is approaches one of you. Someone runs into you. You see their mask first. The mask is furry like a bear's, but also hangs with a few like miniature purple berries, like indicating a bear like eating before hibernation. The bearded man, whose mask covers one of his eyes, says he like bumps into someone and says, "Muscles feel strong there. You want to prove it?" So these are the 4 contacts who you have met, who are going to evaluate your worthiness for your candidate. So with that cliffhanger, we're all sitting here at the party. People are depressed. Dress got ripped. Someone's mom showed up. It's wild. It's crazy. It's Blades in the Dark.
Cut. Roll credits.
So anyway, thank you all for being here this evening. It was such a delight. We're looking forward to seeing you next week for the conclusion of this grand party. And are we going to be rating anyone this evening, or are we just ending?
We can put one together real fast.
Yes,
So
let's
yes,
raid
we're
Vorpal
rating.
Tales
Yes.
again.
There it
Wonderful.
is.
Let's do it. Fantastic.
So stand by
They're our
for the raid.
favorites.
Yes. Thank you all so much for being here. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you very soon.
Okay, goodbye.
Good night.
Thanks.